Cutscene opens to an SAS video briefing screen with a map that zooms into battle scenes at different countries around the globe.
Good news first. The world's in great shape. We've got a civil war in Russia, government loyalists against ultranationalist rebels, and 15,000 nukes at stake.
Just another day at the office.
Khaled al-Assad, currently the second most powerful man in the Middle East. Now word on the street is he's got the minerals to be top dog down there. Intel's keeping an eye on him.
And the bad news?
We've got a new guy joining us today. Fresh out of selection. His name's Soap.
Map zooms into the player's point of view at Creedon Hill, UK. In an armory.
Good to see you, mate. Take one of the rifles from the table.
Gaz can be seen wearing a baseball cap with the UK flag on it. It's his signature look. Soap walks over to a folding table in front of the armory.
You know the drill. Go to Station 1 and aim your rifle downrange.
Soap grabs a G36C rifle. Takes a second to admire all the guns on the wall. Gaz is above on a platform watching. Soap walks over to the first firing lane out of 6.
Lovely. Now, shoot at the targets while firing from the hip.
3 targets pop up. Soap fires from the hip.
Now aim your rifle downrange.
Hold L2 to aim down the sights of your weapon.
Now, shoot each target while aiming down the sights. Now I'm going to block the targets with a sheet of plywood. Bullets will penetrate thin, weak materials like wood, plaster, and sheet metal. I want you to shoot the targets through the wood.
Targets pop up behind the wood.
Good. Now I'm going to make the targets pop up one at a time. Hit all of them as fast as you can.
Press square to reload.
Proper good job, mate. Now go get a sidearm from the armory.
There's a firearm safety regulations on the wall. Soap leaves his lane. Under Gaz on the table, there is a big watermelon. Back to the table to pick up a pistol, the USP-45.
Good. Now switch to your rifle. Now pull out your sidearm. Remember, switching to your pistol is always faster than
He
reloading.
walks up in front of Gaz.
Using your knife is even faster than switching to your pistol. Knife the
He
watermelon.
destroys the beautiful watermelon.
Nice. Your fruit-killing skills are remarkable. Captain Price wants to see you.
Gaz motions to the exit door. Soap looks back to see people firing down range. Walks towards the exit of the building. There's some vending machines, a giant UK flag. The door's ajar. He walks towards it. As he opens the door, he gets blinded by the light for a second as an M1 Abrams drives by. The transport helicopter takes off from the back. I think it's a Chinook. It has 2 rotors. A bunch of soldiers going for a morning run. Watchtower. The Blackout helicopter in the back. It's a cloudy gray day. On the right, we can see some guys are doing push-ups. Other guys are just kind of lounging out. You can see a lot of the water in the road. A lot of puddles. 2 jets fly by as also the Blackhawk helicopter from before flies overhead. Soap looks back before continuing back towards his objective, which is the meeting Captain Price in a hangar. There's a little obstacle course to the left. A couple parked Humvees. He sees a NPC named Sergeant Griffin waiting by the door, waiting for him.
It's the FNG, sir. Go easy on him, sir. It's his first day in the regiment.
Price is standing there with 3 soldiers.
Right. What the hell kind of name is Soap, eh? How'd a muppet like you pass selection? Soap, it's your turn for the CQB test. Everyone else head to observation. For this test, you'll have to run the cargo ship solo in less than 60 seconds. Gaz holds the current squadron record at 19 seconds. Good luck. Climb the ladder over there.
Captain Price has his wonderful mustache mutton chops combo. He and the SAS soldiers are all wearing black and gas masks. They walk behind a bunch of computers. Soap climbs scaffolding set up next to a mock ship made of wood. Climbs about 2 stories. At the top there's a soldier watching and an MP5 and some flashbangs.
Pick up that MP5 and 4 flashbangs.
There's also a board with all of the soldiers' scores and their times.
On my go, I want you to rope down to the deck and rush to position 1. After that, you will storm down the stairs to position 2. Then hit position 3 and 4, following my precise instructions at each position. Grab the rope when you're ready.
Soap can see down into the control room of the mock-up ship. He grabs the rope by holding square.
Go, go, go! Hit the targets!
Touches down and 3 targets show up.
Position 2, go!
Runs in towards stairs.
Hit the targets!
Cooks a flashbang.
Flashbang through the door! Position 4! Hit the target!
2 here.
Position 5, go!
Another
Hit
flashbang.
The targets. 6, go! Flashbang through the door! Hit the targets! Sprint to the finish! Final position, go! That's a new squadron record, Soap. Not bad at all.
15.75.
Climb up the ladder if you want another go. Otherwise, come over to the monitors for a debrief.
The soldiers are huddled around computers that are looking at blueprints of the cargo ship. Soap walks next to Price.
Gentlemen, the cargo ship mission is a go. Get yourselves sorted out. Wheels up at 0200. Dismissed.
The squad begins to walk out. The next mission's briefing screen begins as they zoom into a cargo ship off the coast of Alaska.
Bravo team, the intel on this op comes from our informant in Russia. The package is aboard a medium freighter, Estonian registration number 52775. There is a small crew and a security detail on board. Rules of engagement, sir. Crew expendable.
Taking Soap's perspective in the helicopter, it's a stormy night with heavy winds and rain.
Baseplate, this is Hammer 2-4. We have visual on the target. ETA 60 seconds. Copy 2-4.
Soap is sitting across Gaz and Price. Price's gas mask is on his head as he's smoking a
30
cigar.
seconds, going dark.
Ship is in sight on the right side. The storm is really rocking the ship. The entire squad is wearing all black. Rain is affecting the visibility.
10 seconds.
Price throws away his cigar.
Radio check. Go to secure channel.
Soap and Price put on their mask.
Lock and load.
Soap cocks his
Green
MP5.
light. Go, go, go.
The light turns red as they all rappel down onto the ship. Upon landing, there's 3 soldiers in the control room.
Weapons free.
They have just enough time to realize they're about to get shot.
Bridge secure. Hold your fire. Guys, stay at the berth till we secure the deck. Over. Roger that.
Price kicks open the control room door. They enter.
Squad on me.
Soap and a soldier follow Price downstairs.
Stairs, clear.
Around the first corner, they see a soldier drunk and stumbling.
Last call. Hallway, clear.
Soap and a SAS move to the right and see 2 enemy soldiers sleeping in their cots. They shoot him.
Sweet dreams. Crew quarters clear. Move up.
They head out to the deck of the ship.
Forward deck is clear. Green light on Alpha. Go.
Storm waves splash over the side. A second team could be seen inserting from a helicopter, rappelling down.
Ready, sir. Man out. 3 meter spread.
Soap reloads and moves to the left. He's shadowing Captain Price's movements, methodically advancing towards the aft of the ship. Other soldiers can be seen moving to information on the right.
Got 2 on the platform. I see them.
Pass on the first platform, aim at the second
Tango
platform.
down. Target neutralized.
Continuing to advance cover to cover by the storage units. The squad reaches the platform where the 2 enemies were killed. The large structure of the aft of the ship is now in view as they continue to advance slowly. There's a busted-in storage unit on top of another that popped one open. Price and Soap head through the open one.
We've got company.
Enemies open fire from the window of the second floor of the structure.
Hammer 2-4, we've got tangos on the second floor. Copy. Engaging.
When the helicopter comes in and lets loose with the minigun,
Bravo 6, Hammer's at bingo fuel. We're bugging out. Big Bird will be on station for evac in 10. Copy, Hammer. Allcroft, Griffin, cover our 6. The rest of you, on me. Roger that.
the squad stacks on the left entrance to the new structure. Gaz switches out to a shotgun.
I like to keep this for close encounters. Too right, mate. On my mark. Go.
They breach.
Check those corners. Move. Check those corners. Clear right. Clear left. Hallway, clear. Move up.
They're methodically advancing through the hallways of the ship. There is a little office
Clear
to the
right.
right.
Stairs, clear.
Some kind of what looks like a boiler room of sorts.
Movement right.
Down the hallway, there's a couple tangos. Looks like 3. So goes prone on the left. Takes him out.
Tango down. Hallway. hallway. Clear.
Loads and gets back up as the squad pushes down to the hallway.
Check those corners. Clear left. Ready, sir.
Passing over the bodies now.
Move up.
Turning left down the hallway. There's an open door at the end of the hallway.
Stand by. On my go. Standing by.
They're stacking up on it. Enemy bullets come through.
Flashbang out.
Nice.
Go.
Flashbang out from Price as they storm in. There's 2 parallel catwalks across a large open cargo hold.
Clear. Got you covered. Move up.
Descending into the room proper.
Squad on me.
As they head to the right side of the room, they're starting to take some fire.
Forward area clear. Move up. Keep it tight.
Advancing in a single file on the right. Post up on the right as the rest of the squad moves up.
Guys, right side. I'm on it.
He continues. Still along the right side of the room as he starts to cross over the cargo hold's interior.
Stack up.
They reach the other end of the room, stacking up on a door.
Ready, sir.
Price kicks the door down.
Clear left.
A second cargo hold.
Move.
The interior of the room is being blocked by a storage unit. They head up to the left to go up a catwalk.
Movement right.
With 2 catwalks. Enemies are appearing from the other side of the catwalk. The squad is fighting to the left while strafing.
Move up.
They take the enemies out on the opposite side and begin to head down into the room where enemies can be seen scurrying about for cover.
Forward area clear. Move. Clear right. Clear left. Stack up. Stand by. On my go. One ready.
There's an
2
open
ready.
door. They're already stacking up. Soap takes a few shots anyway.
On my mark. Go.
Flash out. Enemies can be seen stumbling as the squad enters. Soap holds up by the doorway. Starts to take some shots. They're pouring through the middle of the room. Soap takes cover and then throws a frag grenade. Enemies can be seen flanking on the left. Their approach is blocked by some storage containers, but you can still see them coming up. The squad hunkers down behind some crates on the right and begins shooting at some enemies on the other side. Soap begins pushing up the right and you see some squads shooting at something. I don't know what they're shooting at down there. Soap takes them out as their heads pop over the crates. He runs up to a guy and he blind fires from the hip. Another soldier pops up from the corner, but Soap has his gun up and ready for him. Takes him out. Soap continues to push up on the right side of the room while reloading. Scans the entire room before 2 tangos appear through the open door on the opposite side. He shoots them, hits one in the neck as he holds his neck as he falls down. And sprays the other one.
Clear. Roger that. I'm getting a strong reading, sir.
The squad stacks up to a storage unit
You might want to take
at
a
the
look at
very
this.
end.
It's in Arabic. Baseplate, this is Bravo 6. We've found it. Ready to secure package for transport.
No time, Bravo 6. 2 bogies headed your way fast. Grab what you can and get the hell out of there. Fast movers. Probably mixed. We better go.
So, grab the manifest in the container. Move.
Soap grabs the folder
All right, everyone topside.
from
Double
atop what
time.
looks like a container of a missile. As they begin to sprint out, their
Warcraft Griffin, what's the status?
boat is still rocking.
Helicopter, sir. Enemy aircraft inbound. Shit.
An explosion turns the entire screen red. Everyone is on the ground
Bravo 6.
and is struggling to get up.
What the hell happened?
Price is getting up. Soap turns to Gaz. Water's up to his ankles.
Ship's sinking. We've got to go.
Gaz shakes you a little bit.
Damn it.
Big Bird, this is Bravo 6. We're on our way out. On your feet, soldier. We are leaving.
Price pulls Soap up to his feet. Soap, Price, and Gaz are running as the ship is on fire. There is water pouring in from absolutely everywhere. Back on top of the catwalk,
On your feet, let's go.
a geyser of water bursts through the wall. The gas mask that Soap is wearing is cracked. He continues to run down the catwalk. The first catwalk has another hull breach. Just everything's falling apart. The ship actually is probably on a 45-degree angle now. Everything is tilted and continues to get more so. Back in the boiler room, they go back up the stairs. The stairs look like little waterfalls. Pipes are busting. They reach the outside platform of the ship, and it is just running water everywhere. They're trying to run up towards the helicopter that's got an open door. They jump off the side. Soap begins to slip. Price grabs him. Then they're back on the helicopter.
Roger that. We're out of here. Baseplate, this is Big Bird. Package
You can see the ship sinking into the rough seas in the distance as they fly away. A new briefing screen. The satellite image pans over to the Middle East, where they are tracking a vehicle moving.
car is inbound. Continue tracking.
Just more images of following the car from looks like a satellite or a UAV. The car stopped as it zooms into President Al-Fulani being dragged by two gunmen. We shift to his perspective. A door opens and we are blinded by the light. Al-Fulani is being carried. As Khalid al-Assad says over a loudspeaker, "Today we rise as a nation in the face of betrayal and corruption." We're in a marketplace. A soldier is detaining a civilian as a dog is growling at Al-Fulani. They're approaching a car with an open door. They throw Al-Fulani in the car. As he sits back up, he gets hit in the head with the buttstock of one of those soldiers. The soldier waves on the car to go. In the front seat, a man in a blue tracksuit with an Uzi looks back and scowls. There's a bullet hanging from the rearview mirror. Khalid al-Assad says, "We all trusted this man to deliver our great nation into a new era of prosperity." They begin to drive down war-torn streets. Vehicles are stopped or destroyed. A helicopter flies overhead. Soldiers are seen running down. An armored vehicle turns around the corner as soldiers are shooting in the air. The blue tracksuit man answers a very outdated cell phone. They follow the armored vehicles down. He looks back and scowls again. Soldiers are seen kicking a door down and entering. Khalid says, "But like our monarchy before the revolution, he has been colluding with the West with only self-interest at heart." More civilians are seen running away. One's running by the car. The armored vehicle they are following stops to deploy a squad of soldiers who goes and detains him. A fleeing civilian runs out of an alleyway and hits the hood of the car. The car drives by as he's shot in the back. A troop transport is ahead. People are being held against the wall. A woman tries her own way and is shot. Al-Assad says, "Collusion breeds slavery and we will not be enslaved." More civilians are on the ground, one being bludgeoned with the rifle of a soldier. Rounding about down the road, there is a group of civilians that are fighting a squad of soldiers. The squad of soldiers shoots down the group of civilians as they drive by. An armored vehicle blocks ahead. They turn left down an alleyway. The alleyway is very tight with the walls and the dumpster. There's a helicopter flying overhead. There is a person doing spray painting on the wall. He sees the car and he runs away. Khalid al-Assad says, "The time has come to show our true strength. They underestimate our resolve. Let us show that we do not fear them." A man is seen hopping a fence running away from an attack dog. He barely gets away. "As one people we shall free our brethren from the yoke of foreign oppression." A man hides in a dumpster. Jets fly over by. Soldiers are seen running down a road. A lot of civilians are lined up against the wall. They're shot execution style. Khalid says, "Our armies are strong and our cause is just." As I speak, our armies are nearing their objective, by which we will restore the independence of a once great nation. The car begins to slow, as soldiers are all seen gathered around, firing their guns in the air. One soldier motions finger guns towards Al-Fulani. A gunman opens the door as another gunman grabs Al-Fulani, throws him to the floor. The dog is viciously barking. The gunman that pulled Al-Fulani out kicks him in the head. Al-Fulani blacks out and is in and out of consciousness as he's being dragged by two people once again. He's being dragged to some sort of open space, some sort of courtyard, through a hallway. He shakes his head. His vision is blurry as a man in a leather jacket with one arm, who is bald with a gray beard, is standing waiting for him. He looks closely at him. Soldiers are gathered around the courtyard as there is a bloody post. They begin to tie Al-Fulani to the post. Just as they lay waste to our country, we shall lay waste to theirs, one of them says. Khalid can be seen speaking into a TV camera before heading to the bald man. The bald man points a gun at Khalid before turning it to hand to Khalid. Khalid goes back to the TV camera before saying, "This is how it begins." The camera becomes slow motion as Khalid al-Assad slowly heads up towards Fulani, raises the gun to his head, cocks it, and pulls the trigger. The video briefing screen is hovering over the Middle East, recapping the assassination of Al-Fulani at the hands of Khalid al-Assad.
Captain Price, Al-Assad just executed President Al-Fulani on national television.
The Americans have plans for Al-Assad, and it's too late to do anything for Al-Fulani. But in less than 3 hours, codename Nikolai will be executed.
Nikolai, sir?
Nikolai is our informant in the ultra-nationalist camp. He supplied the intel on the cargo ship operation.
The briefing screen pans over to mountains in Russia while showing pictures of Nikolai. There's various battle scenes of ultranationalists fighting Russian forces.
Nikolai's in hell right now. We're gonna walk him out. We take care of our friends. Let's move.
Zooms into the perspective of Soap. Gaz and Price are in their standard gear. Price has night vision goggles over one eye. Price is wearing his signature bucket hat.
The loyalists are expecting us half a click to the north. Move out.
A small riverbank.
Loyalists, eh? Are those the good Russians or the bad Russians?
Well, they won't shoot us on sight, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, well, that's good enough for me, sir.
Hips deep in water, they head up the river. It's 1:30 in the morning, so it's very dark. They approach a fishing hut on the left side of the river.
Weapons free.
Soldiers outside.
Enemy neutralized.
Soap snipes the two soldiers with the M21 that has camouflage on the barrel. He switches to his M4, which has a laser on the front. It's also suppressed. They approach the hut. There's shadows seen inside of people. Soap opens up.
Good work. There should be a few more guard posts up ahead. Kamarov and his men will be waiting for us in a field to the northwest.
They continue back on along the river. There's woods on both sides. They head under a overpass made of stone. Heading deeper into the woods, there's a few houses on a hill. They're heading towards the houses. Mountains could be seen in the distance. First house has a burning barrel on the outside, and the shadows of soldiers could be seen inside. There's another house slightly up the hill. Price motions to stop.
So, plant some claymores in front of the door, then get their attention.
Soap sneaks to the front of the door of the first house, plants a claymore just outside the door, steps back, intentionally lets a wild round loose. Enemies alerted from both houses. Price takes out the one to the left. Soap fires, enters the first house. Everyone is dead from the claymore. Soap turns around to leave. Looks up the hill. The squad's moving up. He reloads. Past the second house. They're entering a small village now. There is a house with an open door, a blasted out roof. They enter. A lot of damage to this house. Looks abandoned. There's a bicycle kitchen. That's the only thing that's about intact in this house. Exit out the back door to the backyard. There's an open field. Price stops.
Guys, you smell that?
Yeah, camera off.
Russian soldier Kamarov comes out with his hand holding his gun in a non-menacing way. Hands are up.
Welcome to the new Russia, Captain Price.
Kamarov wears a Russian fur hat.
What's the target, Kamarov? We've got an informant to recover.
The M21's on the other side of the hill.
More Russians appear from the woods.
Rockets have killed hundreds of civilians in the valley below.
Not so fast. Remember Beirut? You're with us.
I guess I owe you one.
Bloody right you do.
Price, Gaz, and Soap now follow the Russians up a hill. There's a little hiking trail that they head up. You can start seeing houses over the ridge.
This way. There's a good spot where your sniper can cover my men.
Cresting the hill now, there is a school. There's a busted out playground. Missiles can be seen firing from below as the squad appears to be reaching a mountain. There's an overlook with a large wooden fence looking down into a town.
Sniper team in position. Guys, cover the left flank.
Roger, covering left flank.
Soap and Price post up in a break in the fence.
All units, commence the attack.
Soap takes aim with his M21 and begins lighting up enemy forces from below. The Russians enter the town and push back the ultranationalists. Soap begins to provide overwatch as they continue their advance.
Soap, take out the machine gunners in the window so Kamarov's men can storm the building.
Soap aims at the closest building where there's an ultranationalist with a posted RPG light machine gun in the window, firing heavy fire at Russian forces. Soap takes him out as the Russians begin to enter the building they were getting shot from.
Enemy helicopters!
You didn't say there'd be helicopters, Kamarov.
I didn't say there wouldn't be any either. Protect my men from those helicopter tools! This way!
Enemy helicopters are on the left.
Make it quick, Kamarov. I want that informant.
You have nothing to worry about. We'll take out the M21s and carve a path straight to your informant, Captain Price.
Price, Gaz, and Kamarov reach a burning building on the left.
Status.
Kamarov kicks the door down as they continue through to head towards the deploying helicopter troops. The building is absolutely burnt up, barely standing.
We should just be out, sir. Not yet.
Bullets start flying through the windows in the wood. They exit the building.
Enemy infantry to the northwest.
So we've got company. Helicopter troops closing in fast.
Soap takes cover behind a large boulder and switches to his M21 and starts firing at the oncoming forces. There's at least a dozen of them coming from the trees down the hill. Soap makes quick work of a lot of them as they are running out in virtually the open. They're starting to reach a burned out car. The soldiers also take cover behind a burning barrel, a refrigerator, and a oven left in there. Soap runs to the left into a hut after taking some RPG fire. He switches to his grenade launcher mounted on his M4. Oddly enough, the refrigerator and oven in the field managed to save the ultranational soldier. He switches to his rifle again and kills him as he pops his head out. Soap continues to fire on the soldiers on the right. Double tap, they're dead. The way up to the power station at the top of this hill seems to be clear. Soap moves up to the refrigerator and oven. Reloads. Another wave of soldiers comes in. He switches to his grenade launcher and fires a shot out. Doesn't really have a visual on them other than some movement in the trees. So he fires some grenades. Switches back to the M4 to pick off the stragglers.
Captain Price! My men have run into heavy resistance! Help me support them from the cliffs!
What about our informant? He's running out of time.
Help us! The further my men can get into this village, the closer we will be to securing your informant.
The squad reaches a similar opening in the fence line for the overpass as Soap begins to fire down with his M21. The ultranationalists are busy fighting the Russians. They have no idea of the squad on the ridge.
Target eliminated.
Continue sniping as Russians are seen stacking up. An enemy armored vehicle is destroyed by Russian forces. They're pinned down, but the ultranationalists can be seen falling back a little as the Russians are starting to push up. With every foe that Soap kills is a little progress that they're making. Soap has a good bead on the corner that they have to turn around to come down to fight the Russians. They're jumping over a half wall and landing right in Soap's sights. Another wave comes with RPGs. Soap takes them out in the gut. Double taps him in the head. He repositions next to Kamarov, Price, and Gaz.
Good. Now we are making progress. Follow me to the power station.
Soap finishes off 2 last targets, puts them out of their misery as he switches to the M4 and heads up to the power station with the rest of the squad. There is a break in the fence where Soap, Gaz, and Price stand by Kamarov to overlook the entire battle going on down there in the village. Missiles can be seen going off, but the Russians are seeming to make progress through the village.
Look, the final assault has already begun. With a little bit...
Enough sniping. Where is the informant?
Gaz grabs Kamarov and pushes him against the half wall.
Where is he?
The house! The house of the northeast end of the village!
Well, that wasn't so hard, was it? Now go and sit in the corner.
So, guys, we've got to reach that house before anything happens to the informant. Let's go.
They hook up and rappel down from the opening in the fence, and they leave Kamarov behind. They're descending into the village now. Russian soldiers can be seen advancing. There is an L-shaped building ahead where bullets are coming through the windows. Soap takes out his M21 and engages one of the shooters before taking cover behind a half wall. A bunch of explosions go off, destroying the vehicles in front of the L-shaped building. As Soap proceeds on the left, he engages some hostiles behind crates, moves around, and reaches the left side of the L-shaped building. He enters through open double doors. There's a kitchen. Soldiers are coming through the hallway. He reloads, double taps on the 2 that came down. Enters a large open room. There's a bunch of overturned furniture, like a table and a sofa. Stairs are blocked. He stacks up on the door as Price and Gaz catch up. Enemies are starting to hit from the outside, coming from the back. Soap takes a few hits. Enemies taking cover behind that table now. Soap shoots him through the table. Price can be seen switching to his pistol as Gaz enters and clears the room. Gaz misses a guy from behind. Soap takes him out. Soap reloads. Price enters. They're at the end of the L-shaped building now, stacking up on another door. Making point as they leave. Soap takes a couple guys out on a ridge on the left by a car. Finishes them off with a grenade launcher. Other Russians are here.
Bloody hell, let's move. He may still be alive.
The squad heads up a road leading to the northeast house that Kamarov was talking about. It's a very big house. There is a half-wall stone fence around it.
Guys, go around to the back and cut the power. So, get ready.
Captain Price and Soap stack up by a door and put on night vision goggles, while Gaz runs around the back to cut off the power, turning all the lights inside off.
Guys, do it.
With the night vision on, everything turns green, and you can see a laser that was not seen before.
Alright, I've cut the power. Go.
Price slowly enters. It's pitch black. An enemy is trying to turn on a light switch. Soap headshots him.
These night vision goggles make it too easy.
In a large open dining room now. Room's clear. They proceed to move up towards the stairs. On the left, they can see an enemy that is struggling to find the wall. He's got one hand out. Soap headshots him as well. You can see Price's laser aiming upstairs as Soap gets the go-ahead from Price with that motion hand signal. At the top of the stairs, there's a man hiding in the corner, carrying with a pistol in his hand. Another one hiding behind a flipped-over table. There's going to be, as they pie at the corner, there's going to be a soldier shooting through a doorway. The door is closed. However, Price just shoots the door opens, and the man falls down dead. Gaz opens through a right side entrance, which is stairs directly to the upstairs from the outside. Soap clears the bathroom, then he clears the room that the man shot from the door from. Last room, a man comes out with a flashlight. Soap takes him out. Reloads. Nikolai is on the ground. Price comes over to help him up.
It's him.
Nikolai, are you alright? Can you walk?
Yes, I can still fight. Thank you for getting me out of here.
Big Bird, this is Bravo 6. We have the package. Meet us at LZ1. Over. Bravo 6, this is Big Bird. We're on our way. Out.
Let's go.
Nikolai is wearing a gray shirt with bandages, and he also has signs of injury on his face. There is a helicopter landing in a field for their extraction. The squad is running towards it right now. Helicopter touches down. Soap looks back to see Gaz and Nikolai coming up from behind. Price enters the helicopter. Soap gets on the helicopter as well, sits across from Price and Nikolai. Gaz sits to his left. They're all on now. Nikolai taps Price.
The Americans already attacked Al-Assad!
No, their invasion begins in a few hours. Why?
The Americans are making mistake. They will never take Al-Assad alive!
They take off. The new briefing screen begins and pans from the SAS Soap McTavish to USMC Paul Jackson in the Middle East. The image pans to a fleet of aircraft carriers off the coast of the Middle East, where helicopters are all taking off and towards the shore of a, looks like a port town.
Marines, spotters have a possible fix on Al-Assad in a building at the west end of this town. We're going to secure the perimeter and grab Al-Assad. Hoorah!
View goes from the town into Jackson's point of view on one of these Black Hawk helicopters as a entire fleet of Black Hawks are flying over.
Coming into view.
Copy, Striker 6-4.
Feet dry in 10 seconds.
Copy.
Jackson cocks his M4. Oil rigs can be seen in the back, as well as cranes for the shipping.
Fire here.
Roger that. We've got RPGs down there.
Rocket fire coming from the ground forces, so they're now over the village, not just the shore. Enemy technical, which is a pickup truck with a machine gun in the back of it, was shooting at Jackson.
Got a visual on the target.
Pillars of smoke can be seen from various parts of the town. More rocket fire as the helicopters begin to pull back a little bit and slow down, reaching their insertion point.
Stand by for green light. Down the rope! Go, go!
Lieutenant Vasquez drops the rope down as Jackson and squad deploy. They rappel down. Another helicopter up ahead can be seen doing the same. And on the war-torn street and begin to move up.
Second squad on me to the target building. Move!
The Marines begin to lock down the intersection ahead as the helicopter peels off. They put a big barbed wire fence up that we will come back to later.
Target building. Left side door breach. Stack up.
The target building is in sight. It looks like a 3-story building as they reach the wall crossing through a parking lot. Puts a door breach charge on the door handle. The Marine steps back and they breach.
Go, go, go!
Some sort of shed.
Jackson, take point.
Marines wait for Jackson to go ahead. He heads downstairs into an open room that looks like a cafeteria of sorts. Some soldiers can be seen running away. A few stop and fight. Jackson takes out the shooter. Slowly enters. A bunch of tables are seen linked together with weapons strewn all across. There is some crates that Jackson's hiding behind now. Every crate has a red star on it. Shooters are coming from 2 open doors on the right. Jackson reloads, seeing if the squad moves up. They don't. Double taps the guy on the ground. He pushes up to the right.
Jackson, throw a flashbang.
Jackson doesn't throw a flashbang and takes a lot of bullets. He manages to take the 2 charging foes out before going into cover. The leftmost room has another squad coming through. Vasquez takes them all out. It's a room with some cots. Now Vasquez finally throws the flashbang, and it actually does help. Of the 2 rooms, one is a large storage room that wraps around, and one is a room of cots, which Jackson enters through into the storage room. They both lead to this storage room. 2 enemies pop from the corner. Jackson runs out of ammo with his M4, switches to his pistol and finishes them off. And double tap.
All call signs. Check the bodies. We need a positive ID on Al-Assad. Negative ID over here, sir. No sign of Al-Assad here, sir. HQ, this is Red Dog. Target building is secure, but we don't have Al-Assad. Over.
Heading back to the street they came from.
Roger that, HQ. Out. Heads up. I just got word that Al-Assad is broadcasting half a click east of here at a TV station. We're gonna move out. Take down the package there. Move out.
Now they go and head back to the intersection what they previously locked down with the barbed wire. There's a lot of enemies to their left and their right. Jackson turns to see 2 enemies coming, but takes down the Marine that is standing right next to him. Jackson shoots back, gets vengeance. One of them's trying to crawl away, he takes them out too. Keeps firing. Car on the right side is on fire. As he glances to the left, he sees other Marines fighting. He shoots back at the car to blow it up. On the left, he sees more Marines go down. There is a bulldozer in the next intersection on the left. Enemy takes cover by a bunch of barrels next to the bulldozer. Throws a grenade there. Moves back to the right where the soldiers were shooting from before. And takes another one down. There's about 5 bodies. Vasquez moves up.
Heads up! Friendly's at your 6!
Sin looks back. A squad of Marines you can see pushing up towards the bulldozer from the fortified intersection. From the other intersection, some Marines can be seen coming up to help Jackson this way. Helicopters are flying ahead. There is a kind of metal, sheet metal courtyard fenced in. Enemies are coming from the right, from the rooftops. Jackson takes them out as he pushes up on the right. More helicopters can be seen flying over. Enemies are rushing Jackson. He takes them out. They came in a single file line, so it made it really easy for him. Grenade, he steps back, reloads. He's pushing up the right side. They keep running around the corner trying to get Jackson, but he doesn't. They don't see him. Reaches the right side of the sheet metal fencing, which puts him right behind some soldiers that are pinning down the other reinforcements. Marine takes cover next to Jackson. Jackson takes a second to look around and see if the area is actually clear around here. Looks to be so as he moves up. Hunter in the next street takes him out before he gets the cover. A soldier named Corporal Orlando runs ahead and takes cover. There's rooftops on the left that are shooting at him. He's dead. Jackson runs over to try and get vengeance, but immediately gets shot. Takes cover. He gets pinned down where Corporal Orlando went down. Another soldier named Sergeant Kelly comes up and is also helping fire back at the man that killed the other Marine. He gets shot as well, but this gives Jackson the opening he needs to take him out. Other Marines are firing at some of the soldiers on the rooftops as Jackson pushes up. There's some Marines coming up from behind as he reaches a raised road. It's like a hill where there's a technical which Soap is firing upon, and on the right there is a building with some kind of water tank. He's taking a few shots from the rooftop behind that the Marines were suppressing before as another squad of Marines pushes up to the road. They all lay down and take cover. Jackson does as well. They have a little firing line across their side of the road. Grenade comes, forces him to move. Jackson takes cover again and sees a Marine get cut down. On this rooftop with the water tank, there's a bunch of Grenadiers.
Friendly reinforcements coming!
All with RPGs. Jackson bounces a grenade off the water tank to take out a few. Marines are pushing up across. No longer by that raised roadway. Jackson takes cover alongside the wall of the building with the water tank so that the ones on the roof can't shoot him. They do throw a grenade at him, however, as he moves up. Takes cover by some cinder blocks with Lieutenant Vasquez as he crosses the street to get a better angle on the rooftop building. More soldiers can be seen coming across from an adjacent roof to the building with the water tank from some plywood laid down as a makeshift bridge. That's how they're moving from roof to roof. He stays there for a few seconds and takes out the soldiers as they pop their head up. And he moves along the left side off the main road into an alleyway. Takes out a tango coming by, switches to his pistol just in case while he's moving. Seems safe for a second, so he reloads. Jackson's taking a lot of grenade fire. Up ahead there is 2 destroyed buildings, and from 2 holes in the wall they are taking some fire. Jackson does some suppressive fire. Headshots the one on the right. One inside the destroyed building. There you go, he got him. He pushes up to the first destroyed building and is immediately regretting it as a squad of enemies comes up. But on the other side of the intersection, a squad of Marines is pushing up as well. Jackson falls back to the road he came from and reloads. Realizing he's still getting shot from the broken building in the back, he runs up to the first broken building and reloads. Lieutenant Vasquez could be seen killing an enemy that's flanking Jackson. A grenade comes as he falls back to take cover. The Marines that came and saved Jackson are now in trouble, taking a bunch of grenades. Jackson pushes up on the left, kills some more enemies in the first broken building, aims at the second broken building. At the corner of the first broken building, he is now in front of the second broken building. Takes a second to see if the area is clear. The roads ahead are blocked by tank traps and barbed wire. He runs back to where the other squad came and saved him from the left. That's where the other Marines are stacked up waiting for Jackson.
Target building in sight.
We've got the TV station locked down and surrounded, sir.
Good. Get in position to breach.
Squad continues to a giant TV station with a lot of antennas around, crossing through a parking lot. Jackson, Vasquez, and the Marine squad stack up. Vasquez puts another door breaching charge on the doorknob as they breach.
Breaching! Breaching!
Go, go, go!
First room is clear. It is some kind of waiting room with some carpeting and into a large hallway. It's a typical office building in its interior, at least. They continue forward. The top half of the wall is all white, the bottom half is all green as they enter a control room of some sorts. Looks with a bunch of TVs on the left, a bunch of cubicles. Across the TV room there is windows on both sides. So the team is firing at enemies coming from a server room on the opposite side of the TV room, shooting through the TV room. All the monitors can be seen getting busted. The glass is getting busted as well. They head in, fighting cubicle to cubicle. Halfway into the room now, they stop at another cubicle. More shots come from the server room as a random NPC Marine Sergeant just comes and just unloads half a clip into a prone enemy. Entering the server room, Jackson throws a flashbang. Somehow still managed to get flashbite even though there was no visual on it. Goes around the outside of the room. Vasquez can be seen entering a giant room. There is a lot of cubicles and circle desks that are conjoined. An overpass. Enemies start popping out of everywhere. There's 2 little offices on the left that Jackson is pushing towards. Takes about 3 enemies in there before throwing a grenade. Waits till it detonates and runs in. Room is clear. Bulletin board. There's some radio. Enemies are shooting from the outside of the main rooms into the series of closed-in offices. Jackson pushes up through the offices for this cover. Soldiers are rushing in from a door in the back left. Jackson gets flashed, takes cover behind a red sofa, begins to fire back, takes an RPG fire, almost gets him, takes a second to heal as he continues to fire into the room proper. There is a bunch of soldiers entering with RPGs. He shoots one, you can see the helmet pop, catches a grenade that's thrown at him, throws back. Enemies are now coming from the overpass above, firing down. On the opposite wall, there's a lot of small TV screens layering almost the entire wall. The bottom half of all screens are just absolutely destroyed with bullet holes. Jackson finally pushes into the room and reaches an office on the left side by their left entry point. He enters the hallway they're coming through, takes a second to reload both of his weaponry. Hallway is clear. Looking back into the room, you can see that there is some of the enemies reaching around, trying to flank him from behind. He fires back into the main room and through some of the cubicles, hoping that the penetration will get him. He continues up. More shots from above. More grenades from above. He runs into the right hallway that they were entering from. He's low on ammo. He's got 1.5 mag left. A rocket getting seen blasting from above, taking out a Marine. Jackson shoots through the wood that soldier is hiding behind before moving back to the hallway on the left of the room. Jackson starts to look for the stragglers now. Jackson can get a bead on the enemies on the second floor, but he does take a second to see Vasquez moving up into the offices that he was taking cover at the beginning of this firefight. Moving through the offices, takes a couple hits. One last by a cubicle, takes him out. Jackson is now at his last magazine of M4 as he starts to look for weaponry on the ground. Grabs a W1200 shotgun. Switches his pistol for it, his M9 Barrett.
Room clear. Move up. Al-Assad should be on the second floor.
Jackson waits for Vasquez to lead the way. Squad is stacking up at a door in the left hallway. He opens it slowly with one hand and raises the rifle with the other. There's a large open lobby.
Yeah, there goes our boys.
Hoorah! Hoorah!
It's the main entrance to the building, where M1 Abrams tanks can be seen driving by.
Hold your fire. Friendly's coming out.
Sergeant Griggs and another squad.
No sign of Al-Assad, sir.
All right. Fall in, Marines. Stay frosty.
Sergeant Griggs and his squad join Lieutenant Vasquez as they head upstairs. They pass through what looks like the staff lounge. There's vending machines, sofas, and refrigerator onto a rooftop.
Watch your six, Devil Dog.
Through a maintenance room with a boiler and some lockers. Janitor's closet, maybe. Up some stairs. Out onto the roof again. Some soldiers are seen on the ground. Some Marines are taking pot shots at them as Vasquez, Jackson, and Griggs continue on with their mission. Jets fly by. You can see the stream left behind. The Marines enter another hallway and stack up at the end of a hallway for their objective. All the soldiers reload.
I think he's in there. I hear him. Do it.
A Marine shoots the hinges off with a shotgun and kicks the door down as about 6 Marines breach, including Jackson. It's almost like a news anchor room. There's no one here.
Room clear! It's on a loop. Broadcast is
Not
recorded.
here.
Yeah. Score 1 for military intelligence.
The Marines ease their stances.
Griggs, turn that
Roger
off.
that. I got something better anyway.
Command, this is Red Dog. TV station secure. No sign of Al-Assad. The broadcast is a recording. Over.
Yeah. Hoorah.
Roger that, Command. Out. Marines, rally up. We got a new assignment. Get your gear and get ready to move out. Let's go!
Mission fades into a new video briefing screen. Still in the Middle East with Paul Jackson.
After heavy fighting today, U.S. Marines began to push into the city where Al-Assad is making his last stand. Fighting has intensified in the capital city. Anti-aircraft fire and early release.
Roger on location. Repeating, map grid 527619er. Over.
Bravo 6 copies. Over.
Bravo 6, we have an Abrams dead in the water. Call sign, Warpig. Lieutenant Vasquez, your unit is shotgun. Over.
Copy. Bravo is inbound. Tell Warpig to stand by. We're on our way. Out.
Screen shows a satellite image of a M1 Abrams tank that is in an open
This
field.
tank is stuck half a click north of here. We gotta hustle. Let's go!
Now we take Jackson's perspective once again as Vasquez, Griggs, and the rest of the squad move up. They're on a raised freeway.
Get suppression fire on that building. We have to move forward.
The destroyed building on the right begins opening up. They take cover behind a bunch of destroyed cars and armor. The squad pushes up cover to cover. All shooting at this burned out building. Up ahead there is a car that explodes. Jackson reloads. There's a stairway down off the freeway up ahead. The squad pushes towards it.
Jackson, follow me. Alpha, let's take the stairs to hit their flank. Bravo, give us covering fire. This way, let's go. Switch to night vision now.
They switch to night vision. Everything turns green as they're going up to this destroyed building. It's a U-shaped building. Following a random Marine in, Jackson enters the room with a big hole in it, which he's taking fire from. He takes cover. The lasers of the Marines on the freeway firing into the burned out building can be seen through the night vision goggles. A large amount of Marines are coming down from the roadside, entering the building through a big hole.
You and Roysowitz head upstairs. We'll cover this entrance. Go.
Heading up the stairs, a soldier is attacking Roysowitz. Jackson takes him out. The soldier Jackson saved continues to take point. As they reach the second floor, there's a hole can be seen through the wall where there's like 1,000 lasers coming through from the Marines. After they're told to shift their fire, you can see all the lasers disappear as the squad begins to push up this second floor hallway. They begin to clear room to room. Every single room is blown out. This looks like some sort of a school. Jackson switches to his M9, gets hit a couple times. They're in an MG nest now.
Hit their flank with their machine gun. Jackson, use their machine gun.
Jackson hops on the mounted machine gun on one side of the U and shoots onto the other side of the U and of the ship building and clears out the second floor of all hostiles.
Be advised, more enemy troops are converging on the tank. Get there ASAP. Roger that, we're working on it. Out.
Jackson and the squad go back to clearing room to room. There's a bathroom, another office. Back down the stairway they came from. Soldiers are stacked up ready to go through the next part of the building. It's an open room. Sergeant Griggs posts up on a window. Room Jackson and Griggs are firing from has a bunch of windows where soldiers are all posted up. I should have mentioned this before. Griggs is always wearing an outfit with no sleeves, showing off his massive guns. He's one of the few characters that actually changes their outfits throughout the game. Doesn't have one iconic look other than no sleeves. Jackson continues forward. Down on the left side, he is pushing towards an adjacent building that's connected. Looks like another storefront with some tiling on the side. He pushes outside after a grenade comes by and going around the back outside of the alleyway on the building to the left. This left building has sort of an overpass. An enemy squad takes cover behind a car. Jackson throws a grenade, detonates the car before taking some shots from behind. Don't see from where. Some Marines must have covered his back and got him. Jackson continues around the alleyway to the overpass. Some cars are parked, shooting to the right through the tunnel overpass. That there is some tangos on the other side. The soldier tries to ambush Jackson. Jackson's quicker and just hip fires. Continues around the corner, and he has got a perfect flank on 4 more enemies, which he takes out. He's circled around the building.
Contact on the overpass!
The freeway where they were fighting from before is looping around behind him, where enemies are now pointing down to shoot at Jackson. They have a great angle on him. Jackson starts shooting back, but has to run for cover.
UAV recon spotted enemy tanks headed this way. Private West, get on the roof and hit him with the javelin.
Jackson runs back to the overpass.
Private West is down! West is down! Jackson, get the javelin! Jackson, pick up the javelin so you can take out those tanks.
The building with the overpass has 2 stores sort of attached. He goes up the back of one store to the roof, where there is some tangos fighting from the freeway. He shoots them before jumping down to get the javelin. In all honesty, he forgot where the javelin was. On the ground now, he picks up the javelin, locks it. It's got like a lock-on sequence. Jackson doesn't listen again as he stays on the ground and fires the javelin. The missile shoots directly up in the air and comes down like a comet. He continues taking out all the targets as they explode. After the last one gets fired, he switches out to his M4 and takes out some of the stragglers along the freeway. He begins to move down the torn up courtyard, and on the building on the right, he sees Vasquez and the squad cutting through a fence. Before motioning to move forward, he reloads and heads on through.
Bravo 6, we're taking heavy fire on our position north of the overpass! Where the hell are you? We're almost there. Hang on.
The road is illuminated by flares in the air and fires.
Tanks on the other side of that overpass. Come on, let's get back to the squad.
Heading through a marketplace now. Crates of bananas, woven baskets, overturned refrigerator, various stands, a burning dumpster. They reach some sand and a cement wall as they approach their destination.
Alpha 6, what's your status? Over. We're still surrounded, sir! There's just the 4 of us left, but the tank's still okay! Over! Bravo 6, this is Warpig. Green gun's offline, but we still have our machine gun. They're moving those dead packs. Don't let them get close to the tank.
Absolute hell is being unleashed, as on the left there is a long sheet metal fence where enemies are posting up and shooting towards the group of Marines that are holding off the assault. They are in a bog. There is some light grass cover and a bunch of garbage. It's almost like a dump. The M1 Abrams Warpig is dead in the water. They are only able to fire the machine gun, and you can see them fighting off the invading hostiles. Jackson switches his pistol for a Dragunov sniper rifle and begins to pick off some of these assailants coming in. The car he's hiding behind goes on fire, going back to a dumpster to take cover. He's a little bit a ways back, covering with his sniper as the enemies are pouring in. He switches to his M4 and begins to move up. Moves up to the right side of the tank. Most of the enemies are on the left. On the right side, we can see that there is a large pile of garbage, and further down an abandoned bus and some storage containers. There seems to be really still more enemies are coming in as he's just shooting downrange at anything that moves. Grenade comes by, Jackson throws it back. A little short, but it saved the lives of the Marines. That's all that's important. Turning fire now. Car lights on fire. He reloads and moves up. Enemies are getting very close to the tank now, as he stands behind the cover next to the tank. That stops the soldiers coming in with RPGs.
Bravo 6, be advised. More hostiles assembling to the west of your position. Over. 2 Charlie, Bravo 6. Requesting air support for fire mission. Over. Negative, Bravo 6. There's an enemy CPU to the south of your position. Until you take it out, we cannot risk sending in any more choppers. Over. Jackson, find that CPU and take it out so we can get some air support. Lopez, please cover him. All right, let's move out. Secure the western approach. Move.
In the dialogue, Jackson moves up to the sheet metal fence and takes out enemies along the way. The sheet metal fence runs from the concrete wall that they came in from all the way to some sort of shop that they are fighting their way towards right now. Enemies are hitting them with rockets from a nearby rooftop. Jackson runs to the building. Him and a random Marine are entering through the back door, up into the storefront, taking more fire. From the storefront there is a store across the street that they are engaging hostiles with. Behind that other store, there's a fruit stand in front of it. Behind there is the anti-air gun that is their objective. He's firing into that store. Continuing fighting despite the fighting from the other stores. The watermelon on the fruit stand actually don't get destroyed. They stack up and enter. It's a restaurant in the back. There's 2 enemies manning the AA gun. Jackson takes a hit, he reloads, throws a flashbang, goes out to the back, takes them both out. He plants a C4, goes back into the first room of the building, looks back, detonates it. Big explosion. The AA gun's destroyed.
Jackson, I've got air support on the way, but they need our exact location. Plant the IR beacon and get their attention. Out.
He goes to head back into the fight, this time much more further down by the bus. He sees some Marines. There is a little yellow beacon coming up, indicating where to put the IR beacon down, which he does.
Okay,
Jackson,
positive ID on your sparkle. We're coming in hot on northeast.
Jackson takes cover behind a burning dumpster and looks for the air support to come in. 2 Cobra attack helicopters. They absolutely lay waste and destroy the building where all the attackers are coming from. You see their Hellfire missiles just tear apart the building, blowing holes, making it absolutely Swiss cheese. Other buildings can be destroyed in the distance.
2. Do you see anyone left down there? Negative. We got them. Roger that. All targets destroyed and we're out of here. Good luck, boys. Out.
The Cobras are pulling off.
Command, LZ is secure. Bring in the engineers and let's get this tank moving. Roger that. They're on the way. Good work. Out.
Squad, regroup at the tank. Let's go.
The squad regroups, goes past the bus over the junk bound, and heads back to the M1 Abrams. Lieutenant Vasquez has a chalk-written battle plan on the side of the war pig.
Listen up. We don't have much time to get this tank out of here. We'll take up defensive positions around the bog here, here, and here, and buy the engineers some time to get the tank moving. Hoorah!
Another briefing screen. Back to SAS Soap McTavish. Panning to Western Russia.
got Nikolai. We're taking him to the Safehouse in Hamburg. ETA 0700 hours. Out.
Taking Soap's perspective in the chopper.
What the bloody hell is that? Incoming missile. Hang on!
Explosion rocks the helicopter as it begins to spin out of control. Everyone's holding on. Soap blacks out. Soap wakes up next to a destroyed helicopter. Price is seen checking on Nikolai. Nikolai is pointing to Soap. Price runs over.
You're still in one piece. Get up. Come on, we need to get moving before the search parties get here. Casualty report.
Paulson and both pilots are dead, sir.
Bugger.
Soap picks up a G-36C from the dead.
All right, the extraction point's not far from here. Let's move out.
Soap checks the bodies. Squad is waiting by a dirt road, waiting for Soap to come in.
Bravo 6, this is baseplate. AC-130 gunship support is on the way, but it will take some time before they will be in a position to assist. Over.
Copy. Bravo 6 out.
An AC-130, eh? Haven't worked with one of those in a while.
Running down a farm road. One side is wooden fence, one side is rock, but there is farms on both sides.
Sir, vehicles coming from the north.
There's a little stone bridge with a little creek.
Get under that bridge. Move it.
The squad takes a knee in the dark under the bridge, waiting for it to pass.
All right, let's move.
Continuing down the creek. Out into a small little village. There is a couple of wooden buildings. Price enters through the back door of one.
Hold up. We've got company.
There's through the glass windows of this shed, you can see that there are soldiers shaking down an old man.
Не надо прикидываться дурачкам. Мы знаем, что вы их где-то прячете. Кто прячется? О чем ты говоришь? Там у вас британские солдаты.
Alright, let's top these bastards before they kill the old man.
Вы напрасно.
The squad ambushes him pretty effectively. One even gets shot in the neck and you see him fall to his knees holding his neck.
Area clear. Alright, let's keep moving.
The squad hops a fence and goes into an open field to the right. Looks like some sort of wheat. Mountains could be seen in the distance. It's still pretty dark.
Spotlight, hit the deck.
They hide in the field.
Stay down. Stay
The enemy
down.
helicopter flies over and the high beam is searching in the field. The blinding high beam flashes over Soap, but he is concealed in the wheat field as the helicopter flies off.
The hell is moving away. Let's go.
The squad gets up and moves towards a house with a tractor in the back and a light on. There's an entrance to a basement cellar. They take cover behind the tractor.
Return fire.
Soap takes cover behind hay bales as enemies are lining up by the wooden fence on the outskirts of the farm.
Gas will hold them off. Get that basement door open now. I'm on it.
Enemies have a whole firing line along the wooden fence. Now the helicopter is turned sideways and a gunner is shooting out the side. Soap takes a couple shots, takes him out. The guys opens the back door, the basement's back door, and they run downstairs. Soap turns around and sees Price, covers him a little bit. Price slams the basement door shut and locks it.
So, take point and scout ahead for an exit.
Soap heads to the front of the house where there is a stairs way up from the basement. He goes up, going room to room. It's pretty empty. Some shots coming in from the outside. He shoots out the window. Goes to the next room. Enemies are coming in through the front door. Soap gets flashed. He lays prone and starts firing into the doorway. Switches out to his pistol. Shoots a guy in the knee. Another guy coming in the door. One is hiding behind the flipped over table. Soap rushes him, stabs him, and then dodges a grenade behind the same table that man was hiding behind. He checks the kitchen is clear as the squad is seen running through the house. Soap trades his
It's too quiet. Where the hell did they go?
pistol for an MP5.
Trying to cut us off somewhere up ahead.
Stay sharp.
The squad keeps moving into the farm. It's like a farm industrial area. They're in a giant workshop now. They leave. 2 large silos on the left and an intersection leading around a building. The 2 dogs are seen coming down from the right with their handlers. A dog jumps on Soap. He breaks its neck. It's a quick time event. He runs and takes cover. Firing from the hip, he unleashes a whole clip downrange. Taking a lot of hits, hide behind a bunch of garbage in a wooden dumpster. Soap throws a flash grenade. Enemies keep pouring up. He's blocked from the right by a stone wall, but he has a good angle on the people coming from the left. He checks right. Gaz and Price head right. Nikolai and Soap head to the left. Takes that too. Trying to get the cover. More enemies can be seen behind a destroyed car up ahead. Takes out 3 more. And comes around the corner and lights up Soap. He steps back and just unleashes from the hip. Takes him out. Reloads. Barely survived that one. Continues to push up to the left. There's enemies along a bigger house towards the back. There's a few houses past what looks like a car shop. They push up. Gaz and Soap can be seen pushing up on the right now. The two pathways kind of converge into now more traditional houses.
It doesn't look like they know where we are. Let's keep it
There's
that
a
way.
big farmhouse with a little breezeway that they take cover under for a minute.
Alright, let's press on. Move.
They head down into a creek alongside another farm road. They're coming up to a stone bridge where some trucks could be seen stopped on top.
Hold up. Sentries on the bridge up ahead.
Squad hides in the bushes as the helicopter passes over by.
Stay out of the spotlight.
Spotlight just misses the squad.
Let's move, but stay low.
Entering an open grazing field, there's a bunch of hay bales that the squad takes cover behind. As they advance from hay bale to hay bale, they can see that there is soldiers searching for them with flashlights. On the left, we can see that there are some soldiers along the fence line of the road. Soap opens up on them. Soap sprints to the far end of the field, takes cover behind another hay bale as he looks back and sees a helicopter approaching from behind. Soap engages some forces in a burned out house up ahead before turning back and seeing the spotlight is beaming directly at him from the helicopter. He starts shooting at the gunner on the side. Takes a lot of hits, but he does manage to take him out. So passes through a greenhouse and then starting to shoot to another shed. Runs into the shed. Enemies are coming from another greenhouse. Starts firing in. In front of him is a soldier that he shot before. Crawling away. He double taps him before fighting the other greenhouse again. Bullets just ripping through the shed that he's hiding in. He moves up to a dumpster. Moves up behind some barrels. closing in, trying to get an angle on the soldiers hiding behind the greenhouse wall. Pops up at a window, lights them up for entering. You can see the light coming through the windows of the greenhouse. He runs inside, knifes an enemy. Starts engaging reinforcements coming from outside the other side of the greenhouse as Price, Gaz, and the SAS soldiers catch up. He runs ahead, taking a grenade.
That helicopter's making another pass. Find some overhead cover.
Soap gets flanked by an enemy, but Price takes him out. Saves Soap again. Soap moves through to an outdoor workshop where there's some sheet metal, like a little sheet metal roof, covering the visibility of the helicopter to him as he's picking off the remaining infantry members. Catches a grenade, throws it back, starts shooting at the gunner on the helicopter. Repositions a little bit, gets an angle on the remaining troops. Runs into a big farm. There's 3 enemies, 2 on the bottom, 1 on top. He sprays the bottom people before he takes some cover behind a tractor and hitting the guy on the top. Oh, another one enters. Runs upstairs, checks that they're dead.
Captain Price, we've got Stinger missiles in the barn.
So, grab a Stinger and take out that chopper. Move!
Soap grabs the Stinger missile and runs outside, stands out in the open trying to find where the helicopter is. Sees him, he locks on, fires, and the missile hits the farm because I'm amazing at video games.
Bloody hell! It's popping flares! This won't be easy! So, grab another Stinger and fire again! Let's put him to the test!
Soap runs back into the barn and grabs another Stinger. Gets it in sights, locks on, fires. And this time you can see a bunch of flares drop from the helicopter as the missile just misses it. Goes in, grabs another one, fires. This time the missile hits the tail rotor and begins to spin right out into the woods, crashes.
Bloody nice shooting there, Soap.
Watches them spiral into the ground.
Good work, Soap. Everyone on me, let's move out.
Soap runs back inside to the barn and picks his MP5 back up. Price opens the back door of the barn as they continue onward into another creek. Following the creek up, they reach a road where there is an armed checkpoint. A lot of vehicles, soldiers, and armored vehicles.
Bravo 6, be advised that AC-130 is entering your airspace at this time. Out. Bravo 6, this is Warhammer standing by. Heard you could use some help down there. Call the shot.
Warhammer, fire mission, danger close. Enemy armor and infantry, 100 meters to the southwest of our location. Over.
Copy. Coming down.
All hell gets rained down onto this checkpoint. It is just brutal. They're all running for cover. Soap takes a couple pot shots as just a wall of fire erupts.
Bravo 6 will cover you all the way
Whoa,
to the
that's
extraction
bloody
zone.
outrageous,
You better
mate!
get moving.
Roger that, Warhammer, we're moving now. Out. Come on, let's go.
Gaz and Nikolai jump up in excitement as the squad heads forward through the wreckage. There's like one soldier just struggling to walk, so puts him out of his misery. Mission fades black. The video briefing screen now is just showing different schematics of the AC-130 gunship that's going to be covering the squad. I'm not going to describe too much in this next mission, as the entire mission is done in thermal imaging, and the squad of the AC-130 gunners pretty much explain everything that's going on, and anything I said would be pretty redundant. Like right now, they're just showing the guns on the side, the 105mm cannon, the interior crew, and now we're zooming into the camera view from the AC-130.
Wildfire, we are moving up the road towards the town to the east. Confirm you have a visual on us.
Got eyes on friendlies. Crew, do not fire on any target marked by a strobe. Those are friendlies.
You can switch the cold and hot, so the hot is shown in white or the hot is shown in black. Different contrasts for the visuals.
TV, confirm you see the church in the town. We see it. Start the clock.
Roger that. We're there. Start talking.
You are not authorized to level the church. Do not fire directly on the church. Got a vehicle moving now.
One of the vehicles is moving right now.
Personnel coming out of the church.
We have armed personnel approaching from the church. Request permission to engage.
Copy. You are cleared to engage the moving vehicle and any personnel around you see.
Affirmative. Crew, you are cleared to engage, but do not fire on the church. Kaboom.
Enemies are seen in a single file crossing a large
Okay,
field.
you got him. Get back on the other guys. Light them up. Tracking. Enemies crossing the field. Roger, guy moving. Yeah, good kill. I see lots of little pieces down there. Alright, you got the guy. I might have been within 2 feet of him. Get that person. Clear to engage enemy personnel.
Yeah, cleared to engage. Copy. Smoke them.
Hot damn! Right there, tracking. We got a runner here. There's armed personnel running out of the church. Direct hit. Personnel right there. You gonna get him? Get back on those guys. Nail those guys. Good kill, good kill.
Target reset.
Guy running. You got him. Be careful, you almost killed our guys there. Okay, he's moving again. Roger, guy moving. Nail those guys.
Wildfire, this is Bravo 6. Be advised, we're passing a large church and continuing towards the main highway. Keep up the fire. Bravo 6 out.
Roger that. Engage anything without a flashing strobe light. Those are all hostiles. Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Direct hit.
Clean up that signal.
Get that person.
Cleared to engage all of those.
Nah, you're firing too close to the friendlies. I repeat, you're firing too close to the friendlies. Watch for those IR strobes. Yeah, direct hits right there. We got a runner here.
Yeah, cleared to engage.
You got him. Enemies crossing the field. More enemy personnel. Light them up. That's a hit. Enemy personnel on the road. Get that guy. Get back on those guys. You got him.
Copy. Smoke them. Recalibrate out on the sweep angle. Adjust elevation scan.
Right there. Tracking. Okay, you got him. Get back on the other guys. Tracking.
Cleared to engage all of those.
We got a runner here.
Rolling in.
Enemy personnel on the road.
Set scan range.
We got a moving vehicle. Negative. Negative. Do not engage. I repeat, do not engage any vehicles on the main highway.
Wildfire, we're going to commandeer civilian transports on the main highway. Cover us.
Crew, do not engage any vehicles traveling on the highway. Those are civilians. Ground units are requiring alternate transport at this time. Do not engage any vehicles on the highway unless cleared to do so.
Bet that guy's pissed. That's a nice truck.
Nah, he's scared shitless.
Wildfire, we're marking the vehicles. Confirm you see the beacons.
Roger, we see the beacons. Crew, do not fire on the vehicles marked with the flashing beacons. I repeat, do not fire on the vehicles with the flashing beacons. Those are friendlies.
Heads up. Hostile forces are setting up ambush points along the curved road.
Navigation, which one's the curved road? Over.
Fire control. Do you see the water tower? Over.
TV, confirm you see the water tower.
You talking about the water tower near the intersection? Roger. That's the one. And next to that water tower is a curved road. Do you see that?
Roger that.
Track that road into the next village. You should be able to see another water tower in the village further down that road.
We're having a bit of trouble acquiring the village. How far up the road is it?
Approximately, hang on. It's about 2 clicks along the curved road going away from the highway. Yeah, roger that. We're banking towards the village. Stand by to engage ground targets. We got hostiles setting up along the curved road.
Hostiles preparing to ambush along the curved road. They're partially concealed by the trees.
Whoa! Someone just fired an RPG!
Roger that. Crew, go ahead and take out everything in that village. Armored vehicle right there coming out of the barn.
Targets in the village are confirmed as hostile. Cleared to engage. Smoke them.
Wildfire, we're under attack. We could use some help here.
Crew, track those smoke trails and take them out at the source. Clear a path for our guys.
Personnel on the roof of that U-shaped building.
U-shaped building?
Roger. It's the one with the square structure on the roof. It's the one with the flat roof. Rolling in.
Whoa!
Yeah, clear to engage.
Kaboom. Shit, must have been a full tank of gas.
Hot damn!
Check your fire, you're shooting at friendlies. Watch for the blinking strobes. Those are our guys. Boom! That's a hit.
Yeah, clear to engage.
Light him up. You gonna get him? Get that person. Yeah, good kill. I see lots of little pieces down there.
Recalibrate out on the sweep angle, adjust elevation scan. Target reset. Set scan range. Clean up that signal. Set scan range.
Alpha, we're approaching the LZ at the junkyard. We're leaving the vehicles. Roger that, Bravo 6. Crew friendlies are leaving the vehicles and moving on foot towards the LZ. Do not fire on any personnel marked by a flashing strobe. Affirmative. Keep watching for those strobe lights. Those are friendlies.
Enemy personnel in the junkyard.
Crew, go ahead and smoke them. Man, these guys are going to town. Whoa! Okay, he's moving again. Guy running. Shot!
Copy. Smoke him.
Kaboom. We got a runner here. Get that guy.
Clean up that signal. Target reset.
Okay, he's moving again. Okay, he's moving again. Right there, tracking. Nail those guys by the building. Roger, guy moving. Clear to engage enemy personnel. Nice.
Yeah, clear to engage.
Light him up. Yep, that was right on target.
Hot damn!
Roger, guy moving. Yep, that was right on target.
Wildfire, we've reached the LZ, but we're taking fire from all sides. Request fire support on all sides of the LZ. Danger close.
Enemy personnel closing on the LZ from multiple sides. Danger close. Recommend you stick to the 25mm in the vicinity of the LZ.
The enemy's crossing the field. You got him.
Hot damn!
Crew, be advised. Friendly helicopters entering the area. Watch your fire. Copy.
A wave of hostiles come and line up as a firing line with RPGs along a tree line as helicopters are starting to descend to evac. The AC-130 mops them up real quick as the helicopters are touching down. They're dual-rotored helicopters. Looks like Chinooks.
Wildfire, we're moving towards the helicopters now. Thanks for the assist. Bravo 6 out.
This is gonna be one hell of a highlight reel.
Yeah, I heard that. Crew, VIP is secure and in custody. Good job, everyone. Roger that. Returning to base.
The helicopters lift off and the mission ends. Another briefing screen as the next mission starts, switching back to Paul Jackson in the Middle East.
Heavy fighting continued throughout the night as U.S. Marines continued to push towards the capital city in pursuit of Khaled al-Assad. Sporadic fighting can be heard as the bulk of al-Assad's forces fall back towards the presidential palace.
Command, this is Lieutenant Vasquez. War Pig is en route. We're not missing this party.
Screen now shows various stats of the M1 Abrams tank, like the crew is 4 people, a steel encased depleted uranium, 1500 horsepower engine, machine gun. Zoom in onto Jackson on the ground.
Jackson, get your ass on the line now! We got hostiles moving in from the north!
Back at the bot,
Bravo 6, we're clear of the bot.
Jackson's got an M249 saw, light machine gun, with his M4. It's a cloudy day out. It's 4:30 p.m. They're back at the bog from before. Jackson is laying down on a firing line, shooting at enemies coming from the same junk mound with the bulldozer and the bus from before. A lot of enemies are hunkered in that bus as he's pushing up on the right. With every sound of the mortar fire, you can see a big pile of dirt just shoot up in the ground as they're under fire. Pushing up with a squad, they're now at the junk mound, firing into the bus. He takes 2 runners out.
Grab an RPG and take out those choppers.
Jackson reloads and takes cover behind a cinder block. You can see that there is now a helicopter repelling troops in on the other side of the bus.
Right flag! They're moving!
2 of them, 2 of the helicopters now. Jackson runs up to the bus. There's an RPG laying across it as he fires at one of the helicopters. Hits it. As you can see, all the people that were rappelling down just instantly fall as this helicopter spirals out of control. Switches back to his M4 and starts engaging with the troops by the shop where the AA gun was in the last mission. There's still enemies at that same rooftop. In the bus now, he is engaging with some troops. In between the shops and the little restaurant where the AA gun was from the last mission, there's now a open gate where Warpig is heading towards and through. The Marines are following Warpig's advance. He's running over a pickup truck now.
Bravo 6, possible ambush area up front. We'll move up when you've cleared the area ahead of us. Over. Watch for silhouettes on the rooftops. Marines stand clear. We're gonna get some rounds in those buildings. Up! Gunner, 2-story building at 1 o'clock. Ground floor. Target acquired. Fire! Up! Gunner, 2-story building at 1 o'clock. 2nd floor. Target acquired. Fire!
Following Warpig's advance.
Gunner, 3-story building. 11 o'clock. 2nd floor.
Warpig is just decimating a building on the right.
3-story building. 11:30. 2nd floor balcony. Target acquired. Fire!
Jackson hits some enemies that are on the rooftops, shooting down his men. Well, as Warpig continues, every time you hear Warpig give out an order, they're just leaving a crater in another building. Jackson sees an enemy cut down a Marine and he avenges him, and he's pushing up the rebel on the left. Takes a lot of fire from another building. Jackson's clearing out the enemies on the right 2-story building that Warpig effectively turned into Swiss cheese. A Marine runs by Jackson and just takes a shot to the head. Jackson looks back up and it's a nest of enemies from another hole that Warpig left in the building.
Bravo 6, we're moving up. Roger that.
Jackson and the Marines are continuing to push building by building.
Gunner, 3-story building. 11 o'clock. 2nd floor.
As Warpig just decimates other buildings.
Target acquired. Fire! Up! Gunner, 3-story building at 12:30. 2nd floor. Target acquired. Fire!
Another hole is Warpig's just decimating every single building they see. Going through a laundromat now, Jackson gets attacked by an enemy on the left and an enemy in the hole in the wall on the right. The laundromat is attached to a kitchen of a restaurant. As he's going through the restaurant, knocks an enemy down with some fire, double taps him, finishes him off. This This intersection they're on now it's around a bend. He's standing in the storefront, going back, and Jackson's now shooting at the two-story building again from before. There's more enemies popping through. All these buildings are connected, so the reinforcements keep coming in. Jackson lays some suppressive fire on that two-story building.
Bravo 6, this is Warpig. We clear to advance, over. Roger that. Move up and hold position at the bend. Over. Roger, move it.
Jackson looks back. Again, taking more fire from that two-story building as Warpig slowly comes around the bend. Targets more targets and takes an RPG fire. It misses. Returns with its own fire. The shockwave of the fire shakes the screen as Jackson's standing a little too close to the cannon. There's another two-story shop down the line on the right where Jackson fires. However, he pushes up the left under an overpass. Storefronts. There's a lot of cement walls around all these buildings, and they're all full of craters and bullet holes. Jackson keeps pushing up. A grenade gets thrown by Jackson. A soldier goes to grab the grenade to save Jackson's life. However, he gets shot in the stomach, falls down, and dies. Jackson looks down, sees that he's dead. He was a hero. Jackson continues opening fire, gets some vengeance on his fallen Marine. In the adjacent building, there's 3. He takes out 2 and then shoots a grenade their way. Another one. As Marines start pushing up to this storefront, this looks like some kind of ice cream shop, maybe. Judging by the glass counters. He enters through the maintenance store. Through the staff locker room. Looks kind of like a deli. He's now shooting into the 2-story building on the right. This is another 2-story building where further down the road in the middle of the street where there are a ton of foes coming out. On the left there is a destroyed bus that is blocking the way. Some enemies are hunkered in there. At the end of the block on the right there is another destroyed 2-story building. Most buildings are destroyed here. Face checking outside, he sees that there is an enemy in the bus. It just gets obliterated by Marines. The destroyed building by the bus takes some fire there. He sends a grenade launcher into the bus as he rushes across the street to join the Marines. Takes a lot of fire. Shoots from the hip as the Marines push up behind him. Enters the 2-story building in the middle of the road. Goes out the back. 2 Marines get lit up as soon as he enters through the door. Starts shooting enemies on the 2nd floor balcony. On the storefront on the bottom. Runs to a cement half wall, takes cover. Grenade. And pushes forward. You can see at least 4 or 5 soldiers are still fighting from inside the building. Starts lobbing some grenades in there. One of them throws a grenade back, and a random NPC grabs it and throws it back at him. One AI is looking in the complete wrong direction. He runs inside. There seems to be some kind of washroom. It's another restaurant.
Bravo, head out back and flank him from the right.
They're pulling back! Stay sharp! It could be a trap!
Jackson switches his M249 for an RPD. Loads it. This restaurant has a huge hole in the roof. I should say in the ceiling of the 2nd floor. He shoots back at the building he just cleared. People are actually shooting from the 2nd floor now. Marines are posting up in this building. Jackson steps outside to reload a little bit, also to check if it's clear. Goes through the back entrance of this building now with Vasquez and the squad into the parking lot of the building at the end of the road on the right. Hides behind a dumpster. The parking lot is filled as the fighting ensues. The cars start to get on fire. Jackson throws a grenade there, detonates some of the cars. One of the Marines takes cover behind a dumpster where Jackson was and actually pushes Jackson out of cover by accident. Jackson knifes him in the back to repay the AI for being stupid. Vasquez and the Marine push their dumpster forward as cover and move the cover up. Jackson leaves the dumpster cover and starts hiding behind cars and detonating the rest. There's a machine gun nest at the end that they managed to kill, and they're heading towards the building with the machine gun nest. This is around the next bend of the street. Vasquez kicks the door open as they enter through the ground floor. Start heading up. Machine gun nest is clear.
Enemy tank coming up the road. Enemy in the open. South of us.
They're at the building at the end of the road now. They're on the second floor.
Bravo 6, T-72 behind the building at your 10 o'clock. Can you engage? Over. Roger that, Bravo 6. I got him on thermal. Switching to manual.
The cars, the floor they're on is absolutely destroyed. The tank is turning and aiming at the squad. It takes a shot as Warpig turns the bend just in time to take him out. Warpig shoots it, actually, the other tank through another building. You can see the hole in the wall.
They shooting Warpig. Lots of secondaries. Now let's get the hell out of here. Coming through. Roger that, Bravo 6. So, are we there yet? Bravo 6, second platoon is moving to rendezvous near your location. What's your status? Over. Precious cargo is intact and en route. We're almost at Highway 4 and should make visual contact shortly with second platoon.
Warpig runs over another car, stops in front of its wreckage it caused. They jump out of the destroyed second-story building, from the second floor, and run over towards their extraction, which is a helicopter landing. Helicopter lands in an open courtyard as the squad hops on.
Lieutenant Vasquez, this is Outlaw 2-5. The task force is moving in to capture Al-Assad. Tell hands on deck for this one, so get on board, over. Roger that. Marines, we just got a fix on Al-Assad's position. Everyone on board, let's go.
Cutscene opens to following Jackson in the helicopter. Jackson's chopper joins a fleet of other choppers hanging towards their destination.
Marines, we have a possible fix on Al-Assad in the capital city. 1st Battalion is en route. Intel gathered by SAS indicates that Al-Assad may have a Russian warhead. Speed is critical. Nest teams have been deployed to the area. Force recon and wild weasel units have taken out most of the air defenses, but Al-Assad's ground forces still pose a serious threat. Looks like we're rolling in with everything we got. We get Al-Assad, we end this war right here, right now. Lock and load, Marines.
The screen zooms in as they are part of a large aerial force above a large armored force, all heading towards Al-Assad's position.
Formation, approaching objective. 30 seconds.
Outlaw, this is Deadly. We'll take out the big targets. Mop up any troublemakers with a Mark 19.
There are multiple transport helicopters seen flying, as well as Cobra gunships. Jackson's on a grenade machine gun, which is mounted on the side of the helicopter.
All call signs, this is Overlook. We're seeing enemy armor in the Palm Grove west of the river.
Attack helicopters bombard a freeway where some tanks were on there. A bunch of armored vehicles open up fire upon the helicopters. There's some AA guns on top of buildings. Jackson's opened fire on them. And every building he hits just leaves it in absolute disarray. All the buildings they're flying over is pretty destroyed. They're flying over a large courtyard now. Clearing out, destroys 2
RPGs on the rooftops.
armored vehicles. Take out some AA guns.
out.
There's a fuel truck next to a BTR, blows it up. Big fiery explosion. 2 armored vehicles coming down the street. Jackson takes him out. Takes another one around the corner. The streets are absolutely decimated.
Outlaw 2-5. Infantry's making a run for it. We are cleared to land, over. Roger that. Okay. Bachelor 2-7, let's get those Abrams to the front. Outlaw, this is command. Unload half your chalk here and take the rest 2 clicks west. We need you to evac an advanced team pinned down in the city.
They're clearing. They cleared out the courtyard, and now they're landing and dropping some troops off.
Roger that, command. Outlaw 2-5 is en route.
2 M1 Abrams tanks come, run over a car. As you can see, that the Marines are pushing into the courtyard buildings.
Marines, listen up. One of our forward recon teams has gotten pinned down and needs our help.
Take back off again. As they leave, Jackson loosens suppression fire on a building.
Outlaw, this is Deadly. Returning to base to refit and refuel. You're on your own for now, 2-5.
They're flying over a mountain now, away from the first city.
Advanced team is pinned down in a hot area. They're popping green smoke to indicate their position.
Green smoke can be seen rising.
Outlaw 2-5 out.
They're going to land in a courtyard. It looks like a under construction lot. Jackson blows up a fuel truck because why not?
Watch for friendlies near the colored smoke. Let's get our boys evac and get the hell out of here.
Jackson heads out the back of the helicopter with the squad, having an M4A1 with a grenade attachment.
We'll circle back in 3 minutes.
Right around the corner, there's already enemies running. He throws a grenade, gets back behind cover as Marines push up, and there's, as soon as they say to watch fire on the 2nd floor, I shoot a teammate, because I'm amazing at video games. Jackson pushes up along the left side, hugging a wall. The Marines are bunkered down in the next building. Jackson pushes up along the left side. There is an entrance to the ground floor of the target building. He jumps in. Some enemies already in the first floor. Cleared out the first room. This building is under construction. It's 2 floors. The only lights are work floor lamps.
Hold your fire! Hold your fire! Friendly's up on the 2nd floor! I repeat, we're up on the 2nd floor!
All the walls are exposed. Reaching the 2nd floor, there's a Marine watching the stairwell as 2 are fighting down into the courtyard.
We're in, Captain. Let's move out before they regroup.
Enemies can see them repelling as they jump out of the 2nd floor. An enemy helicopter is deploying enemy troops as they're rappelling down, but the Cobra gunship takes them out. Jackson's pushing through a workshop of some kind. It looks like an auto mechanic shop. You can tell by the garage doors. Pushes through on the ground floor. Heading towards the LZ, there is a squad of Marines coming through from behind. He realizes the mechanic shop. There's a 2nd floor. Goes up and clears up the 3 enemies that are up there. Heads back down and joins the squad moving towards the extraction point. Marines are covering. Runs right back into the lot where they started. You get in, they take off.
Outlaw, be advised. We have a situation here. Over. Go ahead, Command. Over. SEAL Team 6 has located a possible nuclear device at Al-Assad's palace to the west. Nest teams are on the way. Until the device is verified safe, all forces are to fall back to the east. Over.
An RPG hits Cobra's tail rotor. The helicopter skids along a rooftop.
We're going down.
We're crashing into the street.
We have a Cobra down. down. I repeat, we have a Cobra down. Deadly, this is Outlaw 2-5. Come in, over. Command, I'm visual on the crash site. I see small arms fire coming from the cockpit. Request permission to initiate search and rescue, over.
Taking small arms fire from the ground.
You will not be at a safe distance in the event that nuke goes off. Do you understand? Roger that. We know what we're getting into. All right, 2-5, it's your call. Retrieve that pilot if you can. Out. Deadly, do you copy? What's your status? Over.
I'm here! Heating is KIA! Hostiles moving in fast! I sure could use some help down here!
Hold on, we're coming to you.
The squad lands in a parking lot 1 block away from the crash site.
Advise 2-5, hostiles advancing parallel southwest of your position towards the crash site. We got 90 seconds, Jackson. Get
The entire street is destroyed from the explosion. We push up forward. The helicopter is in the middle of the intersection. 1 pilot is seen dead. Jackson pulls the pilot out, the surviving one, puts her in a fireman's carry, and brings her back to the helicopter.
Hold down these corners. Go! Lieutenant Vasquez, this is Outlaw 2-5. Now would be a good time to get the hell out of here, over. Roger that. We're on our way.
Taking the fire, he's running up.
Outlaw, this
Jackson
is
puts her in the
command.
first seat.
Probable nuclear threat on the Capitol. Proceed to the minimum safe distance until the all clear is given by the next team.
The squad gets back on the helicopter. Takes off.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're in for some chop. Hang on. Jake, give me max power. All U.S. forces be advised. We have a confirmed nuclear threat in the city. NEST teams are on site and attempting to disarm. I repeat, we have a confirmed
There's a giant explosion in the background, blinding everyone. The shockwave's coming, destroying everything in its path. Helicopter is spiraling out of control. He grabs one of the pilots, loses grip as he goes flying out of the helicopter. Jackson's holding on to the seat for dear life. Everything fades to black. Briefing screen shows the reporting of what happened.
Something has happened.
Satellite image of the nuke going off.
To set off what appears to have been a nuclear explosion in his own country.
Going through the list of all the KIA, pulls up Sergeant Paul Jackson. We zoom back into Jackson's viewpoint. He's in the helicopter. The helicopter's on fire. Everything is gray and there's heavy winds. He looks at his hands, they're severely burned. His clothes are ripped. He starts trying to crawl out of the back of the helicopter. Going very slow. Everything outside is just completely destroyed. It's all brown and red and cloudy and ash. It looks like the apocalypse. Everything's just a fiery hellscape. He reaches the back and you can see a giant mushroom cloud as the building collapses. Winds are very, very strong away from the explosion. He sees other soldiers crawling on the ground. Falls out of the helicopter onto the destroyed road. There's bodies everywhere. Everything's destroyed. The mushroom cloud is huge. He lands next to the pilot we saved. She's seizing. He stands up, looks at her. She rolls over and dies. Another Marine is seen struggling to walk. Looks like Vasquez. He falls to the ground and dies as well. Jackson takes a couple steps. Struggling to walk. Falls down. Takes one last look up at the mushroom cloud. and fades to black. Next mission's briefing screen starts off with USMC Sergeant Paul Jackson, listed KIA. Switching back to the SAS members.
The man is a coward, Captain Price. Al-Assad would never sacrifice himself. There is a Safehouse in Azerbaijan that Al-Assad has used in the past. I am sending you the coordinates.
Understood, Nikolai. Guys, assemble the team. We're going to Azerbaijan.
Yes, sir. I hear it's lovely this time of the year.
Taking So's perspective, at 2 a.m., they're outside of a gas station. There's a Russian soldier flashing a flashlight towards the squad. Soap, Gaz, and Price run to meet the soldier. They're all wielding M4s.
Al-Assad is in the village. The ultra-nationalists are protecting him. Perfect. Move out.
Soap, Gaz, Price, some SAS members, and the Russians head up along a hill on the left. It's along a hiking trail.
What the hell's going on up there? It's the ultra-nationalists. They're killing the villagers. You won't know for long enough.
They're in the trees now. They're going up a creek. Again, this hiking trail has a fence along and some street lights. At the top of the hill, there is a building on the right. Looks like a large house. And on the left, there is a church, it looks like. Fire coming from the second-story window of the house. The Allied soldiers take a knee in the woods, start firing back. So it moves up along the right, up the hill. Reaches a wooden fence. Takes cover behind it, fires a grenade launcher into the second floor. Jumps down, there's a basement entrance into like a cellar. Switches shotgun out as he's creeping through. Heading up the back, there's now, he's into the first floor, the kitchen. Gaz and Price are already there. There's some guns laying on the table. Into the living room. The Allies didn't do a good job of clearing out the house as there's some enemies coming down from upstairs. He takes them out. Clears the rest of the first building. Enemy soldier enters and a Russian just obliterates him. I turn a corner and shoot Price, who is standing exactly where I left him because I'm amazing at video games. Back in the kitchen now. Soap now has the ability to press right on the D-pad and call in some air support from the helicopter. He's taking fire from a burning building. Price, who's posted up at the door, taking the same fire, is getting shot through the wall, though he takes a second to fix his hat instead of moving. Soap calls the air support on the burning building. On the right, there's a shop without a finished roof. Soap begins to fire hostiles coming from the ground floor of that building and from the attic. And he throws a grenade in the window that Soap was posted at. He throws it back, goes out the back door of the house, heading towards the building on the right with the unfinished roof. Enemy soldier runs up to him, he takes him out quick before seeing the Hellfire missiles hit the burning building. Soap checks back to see Gaz and some SAS members coming up behind him. Pushes up along the right to a destroyed car. Waits till the helicopter takes some of the pressure off. Another grenade comes his way though, forcing him to push up towards the right unfinished building. Getting close to the building, it appears to be some kind of shop. Enters and begins to clear with a shotgun. There's a bunch of crates on tables and shelves of crates of fruit. He heads in the back. Someone coming down the stairs, goes up to the unfinished rooftop and posts up there and starts firing at a line of enemies along a fence in front of the burning building to the right. Send some grenade launches their way. Take a couple hits. He's got a great line of sight on them. Takes his time to take them out.
We are ready to attack and are standing by for new orders.
Jumps out top from the unfinished roof. There's a tavern behind that is shooting him. It's up on the hill behind the burning building by a water tower. Called an airstrike on the building that was shooting at him, while the entire line of enemies is back in front of the burning building. Pushes towards them as the helicopter starts giving cover fire. Ahead of him is a destroyed helicopter. As enemies are coming by on the destroyed helicopter, there's another house by the destroyed helicopter. Price is seen running across the field up towards it. As a frame of reference, they are up higher than the previous church they were at before. So decides to take a second to run all the way back up to the building that was shooting at them, that tavern, the one further up the hill that the airstrike was called on, and jumps in the back. There is another cellar entrance. Jumps down. The basement has leaky pipes, and half the basement is flooded, about knee deep. Goes up to the first floor, hits an enemy, grabs their grenade, throws it back at them. Got a shotgun. As soon as he sees an enemy, he takes him down. Of course, he sees Gaz, he shoots Gaz as well, because once again, I am amazing at video games. This is a tavern.
5 here. We are ready to attack and are standing by for new orders.
There is a fireplace, some tables, some booths. Going up to the second floor, there's an enemy peeking out of a doorway. Soap shoots the door itself, and the enemy falls down dead. It's on the second floor of the tavern now. Seems to be where the owner lives. There's a cot in the kitchen. There's a mounted machine gun on the kitchen window. He hops in and then fires at the house where he was taking fire from before. It's a two-story house with a wooden shed on his left. Takes another massive rocket fire, almost dies. Call the helicopter strike on it. The SAS members are stocking up in the tavern. Soap hides in the bathroom for a second. It's a beautiful shower. As bullets are just flying through the walls here. He decides to go out the back door because it's safer. Never mind, he doesn't. He can go to the front door. Two enemies are charging in. He takes them out. The gunship helicopter is really laying out fire on that building that they were getting hit from with the wooden shed. Shoots a guy in the second floor, goes into the front door. Two guys are waiting by the door. He takes them out with a shotgun, decides to go around towards the garage entrance, goes into its attached garage, takes out two immediately. He reloads, comes in there. Takes out another enemy. Creeping through. He catches an enemy from behind. Puts a shotgun shell in his back. Another one is behind a wall of the kitchen. Just shoots them as well. They didn't see him coming from behind. There's another mounted machine gun in this house. On the first floor. Sees an enemy moving across. They're running downstairs to come after him. He takes him out. Just to be sure, he threw a flashbang up top. Reloads and face checks it. They're all dead. Guys wouldn't lie to me.
2-5 here. We are ready to attack and are standing by for new orders.
Moving outside, it's going back towards the tavern, going up the hill. Takes a bunch of fire, runs into the bushes, dives down. There's an enemy armored vehicle. Luckily, some other SAS members come up, take some of the fire off. So switches out to the helicopter, calls the helicopter in on it. Goes back inside to the house, takes cover in the kitchen. Yes, the SAS member and Price both take a window and start shooting at some stragglers. Picks off some of the stragglers while we're waiting for the helicopter to come in. Looks out the window and sees the helicopter blow it up. PGR takes a hit. A couple of the missiles from above miss. There we go. 2 more Hellfire missiles come into the gunship and they take it out. Pushing back up towards the tavern, there's a water tower. It's a little raised on a cement platform, and a stone wall reinforcing, I guess, the hill. They're pushing up, going up a path adjacent to the radio tower. Instead, he goes back along the tavern, further down to the end of the street, and comes up the long way. Less enemies that way. Takes cover behind a car as he sees enemies trying to reposition to Soap flanking them. There is a house on the right with a foyer. Enemies are seen running down the street by the water tower. Soap shoots a couple that are crossing the street as he pushes up into the house with the foyer. Switches to a shotgun. Soap enters the foyer and there's a bunch of enemies over in the kitchen and behind a flipped over refrigerator. Fighting can be heard in the next room, blasting through the guy in the hallway. 2 enemies looking the other way, hits them both with 1 shot. And shoots Gaz because once again, I am amazing at video games. I don't know why he was in that building anyway. He was looking the wrong way from the enemies, but okay. Soap continues on into an open field where there's some hay bales. There's 2 fences, 1 wooden fence and then a sheet metal fence. Hops over the wooden fence, goes to the sheet metal fence. And enemies are at a barn here where Al-Assad is located. Calls a helicopter to come strafe their firing line. The SAS and other allied forces now catch up to Soap, and they have firing line along this sheet metal fence. And fire can be seen coming from both the barn and the little shed on the right. Helicopter comes in. With the cover of the helicopter, he goes around. There's some bushes blocking a little drainage way. Runs through the drainage way. Under the cover of the bushes, reaches another wooden shed on the left. Goes upstairs on the 2nd floor of the, I should say, garage. Takes an enemy out that was waiting for him. Looks outside. Fires at the shed that they were shooting from. There's an outdoor workshop in front of the shed.
We have to refuel and rearm. We will not be available for some time.
Goes back downstairs. The squad starts stacking up on the barn, as that's the target location where Al-Assad is.
Remember, we want Al-Assad alive. He's no good to us dead.
Price throws a flashbang. Enters. Instantly headshots 2 enemies. Grabs Al-Assad and punches the crap out of him.
Why'd you do it? Where did you get the bomb? Who then?
Screen is black.
Who? Give me a name. A name. I want his name.
Price is beating Al-Assad in a chair. Punches him in the stomach. Starts choking him with a rope. Gaz answers the phone.
Sir, it's his cell phone.
Price lets him go and catches the phone. Gaz throws at him. Takes out his pistol, shoots Al-Assad in the head.
Who was that, sir?
Zakhaev. Imran Zakhaev.
Fades to black, the next briefing screen opens up. The screen pans from SAS Soap McTavish to Captain Price 15 years ago in Pripyat in the Ukraine. Throughout this briefing, they show old pictures of Chernobyl.
I was just a lieutenant back then, doing some wet work. Chernobyl, Christmas for the bad guys. Even a decade later, a lot of them still used it to get their hands on nuclear material. A lot of them, including one, Imran Zakhaev. Of course, we couldn't just let that happen. Cash for spent fuel rods. That's one hell of a recipe for destruction. It was the first time our government had authorized an assassination order since the Second World War. I was under the command of Captain Macmillan.
Screen says 15 years ago. The picture of Imran Zakayev is the bald man with the gray beard and the leather jacket from before. This time he has 2 arms. We take control of Price as he's following Macmillan in a ghillie suit. They both wear ghillie suits that exactly match the ground.
Too much radiation. We'll have to go around.
Both are using camouflage suppressed M21 rifles.
Follow me and keep low.
They get up and run towards a shed. This guy is very gray.
Careful. There's pockets of radiation all over this area. If you absorb too much, you're a dead man.
Everything is very brown and dark.
Stand by.
Macmillan stops by a shed. Creeps through.
Contact. Enemy patrols dead ahead. Stay low and move slowly. Will be impossible to spot in our ghillie suits.
2 soldiers walking about 5 meters across. They are walking by a house.
Take one out when the other's not face down. Good night. Move.
Price headshots the one on the right while Macmillan takes the one on the left. They run up towards the house. There's like a stable on the right side of it, and they're moving towards the left.
Hold up. There's more cover if we go around.
Going from the stable part to adjacent to the wall of the house. Looking inside the window, you can see some troops.
4 tangos inside. Don't even think about it.
Circling around the house.
Wait there. Tango by the car.
There's one patrol just walking aimlessly by a car.
Quietly, or just let him pass. Okay. Go.
Price hits him in the back of the head with a headshot.
Move up.
They run to the car. Taking cover behind this destroyed car, they look back to see that they aren't noticed. They continue on towards a church. They hop a little fence as there is a radiation sign, which is the level's way of telling you the boundaries of the map. There's some movement in the church or the tower. Church.
Don't move. We've got a lookout in the church tower, and the patrol coming from the north. Let's move up for a better view.
Price had a good sight on him, but listens to Macmillan. Begins to creep up.
Do you have a shot on the lookout?
Aims at the lookout. Holds his breath and takes him out.
Beautiful. Target approaching from the north. Take him out quietly, or just let him pass. Your
Price
goal.
lines up a headshot.
Tango down. Go.
He had no idea. The 2 get up and run towards the church. There's an entrance on the left.
Forward area clear.
Mac opens the door with one hand and raises his rifle with the other. They enter. It's a destroyed church. There's some grass overtaking the church, as well as all the pews pushed to the side. It's a destroyed out church.
Coast is clear.
See the paint peeling off the walls. Exiting out the back, there's an unkept cemetery. The grass is high.
You hear that?
They run to the concrete half-wall fence.
Enemy helicopter. Get down.
Crouching in the bushes, helicopter can be seen passing over by.
Stay in the shadows. Let's go.
Helicopter's no longer in sight, so they get up. There's a large open field. Again, everything is just gray and brown and dark. They jump over a rusty pipeline.
Get down now.
They get down as an enemy armored vehicle is seen in the distance. They're crawling forward now. Hidden in tall grass.
Easy, lad. There's too many of them. Let them go. Keep a low profile and hold your fire.
As the enemy patrol gets closer, you can see it's more than one armored vehicle.
To anticipate their paths. If you have to maneuver, do it slow and steady. No quick movements.
Price shimmies to the left a little bit as you can see at least 4 or 5 enemies walking right by him. He has to turn back to the right. Enemy is maybe 2-3 feet in front of him, but again, they're so well hidden under the tall grass. Enemy armored vehicle's coming. He shimmies to the left as a pillar passes by and just misses the tank treads. 5 more visible and 2 more tanks. Doesn't move besides tracking the soldiers. They walk right past him.
Okay, let's move. Nice and slow.
Mac and Price emerged from the tall grass. You could actually see where Mac was standing now. You couldn't see him at all before from the tall grass. They look back to make sure that they're not caught. None of the soldiers notice. They move forward. They're approaching what looks to be an old vehicle depot. There's a bunch of vehicles that are just parked.
Follow me.
At least 5 tanks.
Looks like they've already eliminated the men they couldn't buy out. Let's move up for a better view.
There's 2 soldiers that are throwing bodies into a lake, and another 2.
Taking them out without alerting the rest isn't going to be easy. But then again, neither is sneaking past them. Your call.
Price and Mac are hiding behind some kind of construction vehicle. He aims at the patrol on the left. There's 2 of them. Hits the guy in the back first in the head, and another guy in the front in the chest.
Target eliminated. Top them. Don't fire on the 2 by the lorry. We'll have to take them out at the same time. Wait for me to get into position. Hold your fire. I'm moving.
As Macmillan moves to the left, even though he has a perfectly good shot right here, Price keeps an eye on the 2. They're just pouring more bodies into the lake. One's wearing a beret, the other's wearing a balaclava. Price moves past 2 destroyed VTRs to meet up with Macmillan.
In position. Good night. Move up.
He takes out the one in the beret in the neck. Now they're moving towards a bunch of storage containers. In the back, you can see some buildings in the far distance. Taking cover of the first storage container. Mac tells you to wait.
Stay in the shadows.
He goes around the corner and sees an enemy.
Stay back. Stay low. He's mine.
Mac creeps up behind the enemy soldier.
Oi, Susie.
On. Let's go.
Mac butt-stocks him in the face when he turns around. They're entering this sort of maze of storage units.
Hold up. Wait here.
There's a bunch of destroyed cars in the midst, too.
Forward area clear. Go.
Bunch of just thrown away mattresses on the side, a shopping cart.
Stay hidden. Move up.
Continuing to creep through.
This way. Let's go.
Helicopter flies by as dust kicks up. Looks like there's sort of a junkyard. There's a bunch of cars that are destroyed on top of each other. Going through a storage unit, Mac opens up to see a large enemy force.
That's a bloody convention out there. Get ready to move on my signal. Stay right behind me. Hold. Okay. Go.
Mac opens up the gate and starts sprinting towards a car. There's enemies all around within maybe 10 feet of the squad. They're going car to car.
Let's go.
Crawling under a truck. Price is following Macmillan within inches.
There's a truck coming. We'll use it as cover. Keep moving.
Enemies on both sides of the truck. Another truck comes just exactly to the end of this other line of trucks, so they can continue crawling through.
Just wait here a moment. When they leave, crawl out and stay low.
A jeep stops a couple feet away from the truck. Not enough to crawl under, as they were.
Don't do anything stupid.
A group of soldiers come out, and they are walking by the sides of the truck now.
Stand by. Stand by.
The last one passes. Mac and Price crawl off the back of the truck they were under. Get up.
Ready? Go.
Take cover behind the jeep before running into the city outskirts.
Hold fast. No one saw us. Let's keep moving. This way. Don't move. Sniper. Fire escape. 4th floor. Dead ahead. Take him out, or he'll give away our position.
Price and Mac stop at a cement wall where they are the city outskirts.
Beautiful. Move out.
Price headshots the unsuspecting soldier on the fire escape. They're now walking through a destroyed playground. Going up the fire escape now to the 1st floor of some kind of apartment building.
Area clear.
Everything in this entire town is absolutely destroyed. The only things that are intact are some cars.
Don't let your guard down. We're not there yet.
But all the buildings are overgrown.
Stop.
They're going from apartment building to apartment building now.
Leave it alone. It's a wild dog.
There's a dog in the middle of a courtyard eating something. Can't tell what from here.
Pooch doesn't look too friendly. Keep your distance. No need to attract unnecessary attention.
And notice it sniffs in the air. Noticing Price and Mac, it turns around and starts growling. You can see it's eating a soldier. One of the ultranationalists.
Clear right. Go.
Once you pass by and go inside the building, it goes back to eating. If you shoot it, actually, if you're a monster and shoot it,
Forward area clear.
a squad of, a pack of dogs will actually come and attack you. They're entering a big atrium of some sort. I believe this building is a school, or some kind of college. They're on the 2nd floor, and there's a bunch of bookshelves and.
Look at this place. 50,000 people used to live in the city. Now it's a ghost town. Never seen anything like it.
On the right side, there's a big open wall of windows. Books and papers are all strewn about on the floor. Helicopter flies by the window wall as they are heading down on the 1st floor now. When the helicopter flies by, all the papers and books fly up.
Let's go.
Now they're outside and looks like the courtyard of this school. Heading along the left, there's a little bit of a overpass into the woods. Here they see their target, the hotel.
There's the hotel. We should be able to observe the exchange from the top floor up there. Let's move.
The next briefing screen is a time lapse showing the Ferris wheel and the clouds and the hotel that they're waiting at. Time lapse is 2 days till 12 p.m. where you zoom into a sniper nest of Mac as a spotter and Price on a sniper rifle. In front of him is a picture of Imran Zakhaev as the target as a reference.
The meeting is underway. Enemy transport sighted entering the target area.
Price takes one last look at the Imran Zakhaev picture and gets on the M82 50 caliber sniper rifle. They're so far away that you can't even see the target area without the scope.
One's getting a bit choppy. You can compensate for it, or you can wait it out. But he might leave before it dies down. That's your call. Remember what I taught you. Keep in mind variable humidity and wind speed along the bullet's flight path. At this distance, you'll also have to take the Coriolis effect into account.
There's an arms deal going on about 900 meters away. It says it'll take about a second for a bullet to reach him.
I think I see him. Wait for my mark.
Zakhaev puts a briefcase full of gold bars on a table.
I have a positive ID on Imran Zakhaev.
A soldier inspects the bars.
Steady. Keep an eye on that flag. Watch for any change in wind speed and direction.
There's guns all over folded tables. Soldiers are passing the gold bars back to each other. Imran's pacing back and forth. A helicopter blocks your sight.
Where did he come from? Patience, laddie, wait for a clear shot.
Price aims at one of the pilots for a second before the helicopter pulls off. Price realigns his sight with Zakhaev. Zakhaev seems to be pointing and yelling. He throws his hands up in the air angrily. As soon as the flag stops moving, Price takes a shot.
Target down. I think you blew off his arm. Shock and blood loss will take care of the rest.
Enemies scurry about.
Shut that onto us. Take out that helicopter. It'll buy us some time.
Price headshots the pilot. Helicopter spirals out of control. He puts the sniper down as they run the other side of the building. Mac hits a chair and almost trips on it as they're running to rappel out the back.
We'll have to take a shortcut. Follow my lead.
As they rappel down, a helicopter obliterates the top floor of the hotel that they were on. You see fire and glass all spewing out of the top. They begin to run through the city.
Lieutenant Price, follow me. Delta 2-4, this is Alpha 6. We have been compromised. I repeat, we have been compromised. Now heading to extraction point 4. Alpha 6, Big Bird is en route. ETA 20 minutes. Don't be late. We're stretching our fuel as it is. Out.
A huge squad is just seen crossing the street as Mac and Price start pushing through. The car is on fire. Enemies are swarming all around by a bus, a destroyed building, a destroyed vehicle. Helicopters are seen repelling enemies. Their response time is really incredible. Taking cover behind a car.
Tango down.
Price snipes a couple with M21. You see
Lose him in that apartment. Come on.
Mac blowing a few away with his USP-45. They're entering a apartment building now. Looking back, you can see the soldiers are going to investigate the hotel. Entering through the apartment building now, first floor. Mac opens up a door. Jumping through a building. There's a fence where a rabid dog is coming and barking at you. Mac and Price wait till the dog comes. Fortunately, they have to take the dog out. Going room to room.
Stand by.
See patrol passing by.
Quick, plant the claymore by the door up ahead.
They saw it through the window. They've run ahead, and Price puts a claymore by the door. Takes his pistol back out. Claymore gets a couple. He switches his pistol for a G3 submachine gun.
Behind us.
They're in an apartment block, but there is a playground in between, and that's why they're standing by one of those tilt-a-whirls. Helicopter scene. Both Price and Mac are shooting at the pilot.
Snipe the bastard! Right, shoot the helicopter. We'll take it down together.
It's starting to crash now. Mac turns around slowly. Explosion hits nearby. He falls down. Helicopter's crashing, and the blade lands right next to Macmillan's head, but he's okay.
My leg's all messed up. I can't move. Sorry, mate. You're gonna have to carry me. If we run into trouble, you'll have to find a good spot to put me down so I can cover you.
Price fireman carries
The
Macmillan.
extraction point is to the southwest. We can still make it if we hurry. Tango's closing fast. Put me in a good spot to cover you.
Enemies coming down a hallway. Price yeets him on the ground and then takes out his G3 and takes him out. Picking him back up, he starts to run, taking a few hits. Price turns a corner down the alleyway, drops Mac in a corner, pulls his gun back out. Enemies hiding behind a car, takes him out. Picks Mac back up. There's a destroyed car, some burning barrels. About 16 minutes remaining. He sees enemy patrol run by, they don't see him. Price goes into a bush. Circles around the right. There's an enemy right there. His stealth is meaningless. He throws Mac in a bush. Takes out the enemy patrol. And you actually can't see Mac at all in this bush. He's so well camouflaged. Picks him back up though. Runs through another apartment building. Shots are going off all around him. You can see the ricochet and the dust pop up. There's a destroyed ramp up to the second floor of the apartment building. In the stairwell of the apartment building. The dog's right there in front of him. He puts Macmillan down. Price gets ready to fight. Dog backs off a little bit. Price goes into the next room. Sees the dog running. Sees his handler. Dog attacks. Takes him out with hip fire. Sorry, Pooch. Mac takes the other one out.
Make sure these rooms are clear first.
Moving forward. Runs downstairs. Another destroyed ramp. There is a rec center up ahead.
The extraction point is on the other side of that building.
Enters through the blown out entrance. All the windows are broken, the tiling's falling apart. In the shower room, there's a big open, like Olympic-sized pool that's all drained out. Crossing around it. Is it the Ferris wheel up ahead? And a bumper cars. This is the extraction point up ahead. There's some enemies there. He throws Macmillan down. Takes the two hiding out behind a car. It's clear. Goes back for Mac.
Alpha 6, this is Big Bird, standing by for your signal, over. Our helicopter is standing by to safe distance. Put me down behind the Ferris wheel where I can provide sniper support.
Price puts him down along the tree line up ahead. There's a little hill.
This will be fine. Take the rest of my claymores. Now's the time to use them. The enemy is bound to enter this area, so find a good sniping position. I'll signal the helicopter in 30 seconds.
Price puts a bunch of C4 around some cars, anticipating that that's where the enemy will take cover. Puts a bunch of claymores in between openings of fences, around corners, out in the fields, by cover. He has 8 of them. Just puts them all around. You then post up in a high mound of dirt.
Find a good spot to snipe from and go prone. Alright lad, I've activated the beacon. Good luck.
At this part,
Alpha 6, we have a fix on your position. Hang tight. Big Bird out.
on the bottom, you can see the compass. There is about 8,500 meters left
Tango's in sight. Let them get closer.
for the helicopter to reach the extraction point. See a large line of foes coming.
Stand by
At
to
least
engage.
20.
Open fire.
Takes out 2 with 1 shot. Enemies lay prone. Now, because we didn't shoot the dog at the beginning, there's actually a pack of wild dogs that's going to attack the enemies. Try and help the pooches out a little bit by taking out some of the soldiers.
Got one!
These guys are killing innocent dogs, so they deserve to get shot.
Tango down.
They're coming through an open courtyard, so it makes it a little easy pickings for them. Now they're carrying RPGs. They're not getting close enough, though, to be able to use it. Claymore on the right side goes off, means they're getting a little closer. Price moves behind the ticket booth. And another. Takes cover behind one of the Ferris wheel carts as enemies can be seen rappelling down from the helicopter. He shoots them off the rope as they're dropping in.
Target neutralized.
2 more helicopters are seen rappelling enemies down. He switches out to his C4 and detonates them. Takes his M21 back out. Starts firing back.
Blackbird, we are heavily outnumbered. Where are you?
He's fighting the enemies on the right.
Copy that, Alpha. Move there ASAP. Hold tight.
Enemies continue to pour in.
He's down.
Max taking out guys on the left side. Prices hold down the right. You can see Max just blew a guy's head off. Taking shots from behind. Somehow somebody snuck behind him. He fires from the hip even though it's an M21. That's how desperate it was. Shaken up. Price moves over to the bumper car section now. Trying to make sure people don't sneak behind him again. Enemies are getting real close by the line of cars now. Every time Price looks over to the left, you can see Mac taking out some enemies. Mac's taking some fire now. Price is trying to lighten his load a bit from the right side. Sending some bullets down range.
Got him.
The chopper is about 2,600 meters away now. Switches back to his M21. So they're pushing the enemies back a little bit. Capture this on recruit difficulty, but on veteran difficulty, this is one of the hardest missions in all of Call of Duty, in my opinion. Enemy throws a grenade, he catches it and throws it back. Hits the 2 enemies. Transport helicopter touches down as 4 soldiers come out to cover Price and Mac. They're covering Price as he's running up to go grab Mac. Taking some fire. They're not doing a good job of covering him. Enemies are on the other side of the ticket booth of the Ferris wheel. They're real close to Mac. He picks up Mac, starts running towards the helicopter.
You got 30 seconds.
Goes around inside, places Mac down on the helicopter. The soldiers start fighting their way backwards into the helicopter. Just shooting the enemies as they're taking off. They're flying away now as the Ferris wheel fades in the distance. New briefing screen back to the SAS squad in present day.
ETA on the chopper's at least half an hour, Captain Price.
No good. Any corpses for 10 minutes by then. Every ultra-nationalist psycho in Zakhaev's pocket is about to show up on our doorstep, coming to claim Al-Assad.
Or what's left of him.
Right. We'll set charges along phase line Alpha on the southern hill. And more along phase line Bravo. We'll delay them all the way back to the top and hold our ground at the extraction point in the fields around the farm. Any questions?
Let's do this.
Zooming into Soap's perspective. Present day, 8 hours after Al-Assad's death. An enemy speaking over loudspeaker.
Drop your weapons and surrender at once. You will not be harmed if you surrender.
At the start of the mission, Soap and squad are running past the downed helicopter to the top of the hiking trail by the church in the...
Ignore that load of bollocks. Their counterattack is imminent. Spread out and cover the southern approach. Sir, they're slowly coming up the hill. Just say when.
They all lay down prone along a fence line on the other side of the church, facing the hill as enemies can be seen advancing up slowly. Soap has a light machine gun, Gaz has a G36, and looks like Price has an M4.
Do it. Kaboom.
Open fire!
Nice shot, mate.
After detonating some explosions along the hiking trail, the squad of SAS members just rain hell on the enemies below. Keep firing into the tree line, some firing's coming back. They don't really have a good angle on them though because the squad is laying at the crest of a hill. Some rockets whiz by.
Squad, hold your ground. They think we're a larger force than we really are. Copy.
Enemies are just getting picked off as they come up the hill. They don't have much cover besides some skinny trees. Soap reloads. More rockets are coming from further down. One hit the fence that Soap was hiding behind. Can't really see the enemies now, except for a few that are ahead of the smoke line. So switches to his M21. On his way to the helicopter, Soap drops a few claymores on the way. Back up the hill to the downed helicopter. There's a minigun that is pointing towards the position that they just fell back from. He holds L2 down to spool up the minigun. The minigun's spinning. Enemies can be seen coming through the smoke screen. Start shooting bullets down range. Enemies are coming around the church now. Minigun just decimates them.
We've got a problem here! Heads up! Bloody hell! There's a lot of helis in it! Also, fall back to the cover and man the detonator.
Helicopter, 6 helicopters coming try to deploy troops as the minigun takes them all out.
Get off the minigun! We're falling back!
Soap lets one spray loose.
We're falling back to the next phase line! Let's go! Let's go! You've got to get left behind! Soap! Use the detonators! There's 4 of them in the tavern! Move!
Soap goes into the tavern. Grabs a detonator. Lets off one fire line. Snipes the 3 that he missed. Loads, he goes back into the dwelling of the tavern. Detonates another line of C4 by the helicopter. Gets a bunch of enemies. Enemies are coming up the building by the unfinished roof. Detonates another round of C4. Mops him up with the M21. One more line by the formerly burning building. Detonates that too.
Mac's in trouble. So, get to the barn at the northern end of the village and stop those tanks. Use the javelin in the barn. Fall back to the farm at the top of the hill. Let's go. Now.
Running back past the house with the foyer. Into the open field.
So, the javelin's in the barn. Move, move.
Running up the drainage ditch right now. Sprints across the field to the wooden fence of the barn. Entering the barn where they killed Al-Assad. Switches his M249 saw for the javelin. Aims through and sees a tank approaching. Locks on, fires, missile shoots up into the air directly. The tank cuts down an SAS member running through the field as just moments before the rocket hits it. Another tank, lock on. The shell from the tank just missed Soap's head. That's another rocket through. Switches back to the M21, take out some enemies. Now they are getting up to the wooden fence and the sheet metal fence where the squad was fighting from in the last mission. RPG is taking aim at Soap. Soap headshots him. The rocket goes way up in the air. 2 more tanks on the right side. Soap sends a javelin to the right one. Now it locks on and sends it to another one. Enemies are getting to the wooden fence along the border of the barn. Soap runs back in and switches out his javelin back for his M249 saw. Not having much ammo, he switches the saw for the RPD.
Bravo 6, this is Falcon 1 standing by to provide close air support, over.
Pressing down on the D-pad now gives him air support.
Bravo 6, this is Griffin 2-7. We've just crossed into Azerbaijani airspace. ETA is 4 minutes. Be ready for pickup. Roger that, we're coming in hot. Bravo 6, the LZ is too hot. We cannot land at the farm. I repeat, we cannot land at the farm. Picking up standby all over your mountains. Bravo 6, we're getting a lot of enemy radar signatures. Try to land closer to the bottom of the hill to avoid a lock-on, over. Oh, he's got us taking a piss! We've just busted our asses to get to this LZ, and now they want us to go all the way back down! Forget it, guys! We've got to get to the new LZ at the bottom of the hill, now! So, take point, go!
Soap calls during the dialogue a airstrike on the sheet metal fence line of enemies as a carpet bomb just obliterates all of them. Running through another open field on the right, he's got to head up the drainage pipe, the drainage way. Another enemy squad is coming through. Calls an airstrike on him. Danger close, but it takes out the squad. As soon as the explosion stops, Soap runs up the drainage. Their new LZ is actually the gas station where they started the mission of the last time they were here. Soap crawls through a drainage pipe, reloads his RPD, continues sprinting down, taking rocket fire. Crossing the street by the water tower, he just sprays and prays as he runs down into the tavern.
6 be advised, we are almost there, but we're low on fuel. You guys have 3 minutes before we have to leave without you.
Goes back downstairs through the tavern.
Left behind. We've got to get to the landing zone.
Shoots back to enemies that are on the concrete reinforcement of the hill in front of the water tower. Runs back down. He's now on the road. Road's blocked. Has to go through the hiking trail. Sees the gas station. Enemies are along the hiking trail. Takes a second behind a tree and starts shooting at him. Rocket comes, he jumps to the left, jumps down. He's at the gas station now. Helicopter can be seen landing. Loading his RPD.
Got 2 minutes, over.
As the helicopter touches down, Soap turns around and calls one airstrike in and along the hiking trail, just for good measure.
Roger that, we're coming in hot.
A squad comes out, led by Griggs. Soap hops on the helicopter as the rest of the squad comes in. Griggs and his squad are shooting at the enemies. Griggs taps his fellow soldier, and they get back on the helicopter.
Alright, we're all aboard! Go! Go!
Helicopter's taking off.
Faceplate, this is Griffin 2-7. We got him and we're coming home. Out.
Taking some small arms fire from the tree line. Mission briefing screen. Instead of saying SAS or USMC, this says SAS USMC Joint Operation.
Well, we got that bastard.
Still, he's not the one responsible for killing your Marines. Sorry, mate.
Imran Zakhaev, huh? Man's a ghost. Intel says he's gone underground.
Well, I got a plan to find him.
I'm listening. Daddy's boy.
Zakhaev's son, commander of the ultra-nationalist forces in the field. Rotten apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The loyalist camera has got a location on the kid.
And the little punk'll know how to find Zakhaev.
The sins of our fathers.
Ain't it a bitch?
Zakhaev's son is wearing a blue tracksuit. That is the man who was in the passenger seat of the car in the beginning with the assassination of Al-Fulani.
This is the best way in. The vehicle checkpoint is directly ahead.
Not bad, Kamarov. This'll do nicely. Vulture 1-6, we're in position.
Bravo 6, this is Vulture 1-6. Radio jammers are active. You're cleared to engage the guard station. Out.
Starting the mission in a junkyard. Soap is slowly advancing with the squad. He's got an M1911 and an R700 sniper rifle. It's bolt action. There's a watchtower up ahead by a gas station. 2 enemies are in it.
So, get on that dumpster and prepare to take out the guards in the tower on my mark. The rest of you follow me.
The Allied Marines, Russians, and SAS members start circling around preparing for an ambush. They're going in a single file around some buses. Soap is aiming at the 2 in the watchtower.
Soap, take them out now.
Headshot.
Move, move, move!
As soon as he headshots one, the other's ducking down. Shoots the second one through the wood. Reloads 2 bullets, hops up on the dumpster. Can't see him from here. He starts to push up to meet up with the rest of the squad. There's a diner up ahead with an enemy on the rooftop. He takes a headshot from Soap. Soap pushes up slowly with his sniper rifle, just taking out the enemies that are focused on other. Looks like 1 enemy remains in the diner. Griggs is doing some suppression fire. Soap takes a shot, but he misses as the enemy runs down. Soap takes out his pistol and just decides to run in there. Hits him in the stomach. The guy still ducks down again. Squad is ready to insert, but Soap just runs in and knifes him. He's wearing a gas mask.
Area secure.
Everyone gathers in the middle of the road between the diner and the gas station.
Alright, let's get this place sorted out. Change into the enemy uniforms and douse the fires. Kamarov, I need your men on the ground if the drivers start asking questions. Just keep them busy until we locate Zakayev's son. We don't have much time, so get to it.
Screen fades to black. Two hours later. Soap and Griggs are on the watchtower.
Man, you look like a clown in that outfit. Good thing you're up here, because you look nothing like a Russian.
Allied forces are seen laying prone on top of the gas station awning.
Bravo 6, this is Vulture 1-6. We're tracking an enemy convoy headed your way. I count 6 vehicles in the convoy, over.
Roger that. Nobody fires a shot until I give the order.
A Russian soldier is waiting by the road. The enemy convoy is coming. There's 2 troop transport trucks, a jeep, and an armored vehicle. Another troop truck and another armored vehicle. Turn around the bend now.
Lincoln, sir, I have a visual on the target in the 3rd vehicle, and I'm walking by it right now.
Copy that. All teams stand by. The target is in the jeep in front of the BMP. We need to take him alive, so watch your fire. Stand by. Stand by. Smoke him.
Soap unleashes his RPD into the canopy of the troop transport. One of the SAS members on top of the gas station awning goes down. They're lighting up everybody down there. Soap throws a flashbang at the jeep. RPGs start taking out the enemy forces. A helicopter above. Watchtower falls down as Soap gets his bearings. He looks up to see Zakayev's son running out of the jeep, taking some fire. The jeep blows up, knocks him to his feet. He sees you, scowls, and runs. Soap gets up and gives chase.
The target is making a run for it. So, take Griggs and chase him down. We'll handle the enemy reinforcements and catch up. Go, go!
Running to the junkyard, a Blackhawk.
Bravo team, this is Vulture 1-6. I'm tracking the target. Damn, this guy moves fast. Okay, he's leaving the junkyard to the northwest. Get his ass. Move. Okay, the target is moving north. He's headed towards the outskirts of the city.
Running straight towards a few houses into a city.
Be advised, this area is crawling with hostile forces, over.
Helicopters flying over as they're entering the main street. Zakayev's son is seen taking cover behind some cars as enemy forces are shooting back. There's some cinder blocks in the road. Griggs caught up to Soap. Soap reloads his few guns. Griggs is using a silenced M4. Soap goes through the house instead of pushing up the street. Pops out the front door. Takes out 2 enemy forces.
Check your fire, check your fire. We gotta take this guy alive.
Soap just hip fires and sprays and prays as he runs up ahead.
The target is moving again. There's a side alley to the left that might let you cut him off.
Gives the allies an opening to move up. An allied Russian gets knocked down by an attack dog, but the enemy attack dog gets taken out by the allied forces. Soap is running through some back alleys.
Hostiles on the other side of that iron fence.
Enemies taken over by car.
Up on your right flank.
2 enemies come up by the right flank. Soap takes out the 2 flanking guys by a car, runs around the alley they came. After taking a while to reload his RPD, he switches for an MP5, which reloads much quicker.
Hostiles on the second floor to your right.
Sneaks behind an enemy and knifes him in the back. Goes up to the second floor. Takes out 2 enemies. One with a knife, one with the MP5. Takes his G36 out. Takes another enemy and continues on.
One guy behind the overturned dumpster.
Enemy by the dumpster, copy!
Enemies coming your way.
So bum rushes the guy in the dumpster.
Two tangos. Watch for the green car around the corner.
So throws a flash. Takes the enemies by the green car out.
Yeah, all clear. Hostiles moving across the parking lot towards the 5-story building.
Vulture 1-6, we are taking heavy fire from a fortified position on the 5th floor.
Roger that. First one's free. Stand by.
The helicopter comes and absolutely obliterates the 5th floor. You see the building just chip away.
Okay, all targets neutralized. You're good to go. Bravo team, do you have a visual on the target? Over. Affirmative. Target spotted entering 5-story building.
Enters the building into the stairwell. On the 1st floor. Bunch of destroyed rooms.
Northeast part of the building, 2nd floor.
Gets clipped pretty bad. Hides against the wall. Throws a flashbang. Hits an enemy in the face with a flashbang. Oh, a frag. He explodes. Double taps the survivor. Clean sweep sprays 3 enemies in the next room. Double tap. Every room is in ruin.
Target on your left, 1 floor above. There's a staircase in the north corner.
The ceiling is destroyed. You can see into the next floor. Pushing through, he's in what's left of a kitchen. Goes up the stairwell.
Target is moved deeper into the building. Hold on, I got these guys.
Taking fire from an above floor because of the state of the building. The next 2 floors are barely even standing. Helicopter takes that enemy out that was in some rubble.
Okay, all targets neutralized. You're good to go.
Pushes up the rubble, climbs a ramp to another dwelling.
Alright, moving on the roof. Stand by.
Another
Yep,
kitchen.
positive ID. Target is on the roof.
Up the
He's all
stairwell.
yours.
Other soldiers are pushing up already. Following the Russians up the stairwell to the roof. All the allies are pointing, surrendering Zakhaev's son.
No, we can't risk it. Hold your fire. Take his weapon and restrain him.
Walking up to the man.
Rupe! No!
He puts a gun to his head. He shoots himself.
Shit, kid's got some issues.
Faceplate, this is Bravo 6. Zakhaev's son is dead. They're coming home.
Bloody hell. His son was our only lead, sir.
Forget it. I know the man. He won't let this go unanswered. Let's go.
Act 3 begins with a monologue of Imran Zakhaev showing pictures of the Ferris wheel and some of the other events that happened over the course of the game so far, such as his son's suicide.
Our so-called leaders prostituted us to the West, destroyed our culture, our economies, our honor. Our blood has been spilled on our soil. My blood on their hands. They are the invaders. All US and British forces will leave Russia immediately or suffer the consequences.
Soap in the Atlas Mountains.
It's quite simple. Either we retake the launch facility or we won't recognize the world tomorrow. Green light to Halo. Charlie team, go. Second drop approaching. Bravo team, stay tight. Go.
A bunch of parachutes are seen deploying from a C-130. Griggs is going off course.
Regroup on me.
In snowy woods, 6 a.m. It's dark and foggy out.
Where's Griggs?
No idea, sir.
Bravo 6, Griggs just activated his emergency transponder. He's half a click to your southwest. Over.
We're on our way. Bravo 6 out. Let's go.
The squad gets up and heads down a forest path, little road, wooden fence, and along the side of the road, and woods on both sides. The squad is slowly pushing up through the woods. A car is approaching.
Contact front. Enemy vehicle. Tango down.
Price lights him up. The high beams of the car show the snow falling. The squad walks up past the Jeep, seeing that the bodies are on the ground, and continuing on. They stay to the left side of the road as they see in the woods ahead and on the road some high beams of some flashlights.
Enemy inside.
They move into the woods, staying quiet. Soap headshots one, and they ambush the squad. A couple seconds later, more show up. An enemy got a jump on Soap from a tree line on the left, but a SAS member got him. Heading past the location of the firefight, they're going up a slight hill, and there's a large chain link fence leading up to a large building.
They must have bricks in one of those houses. There's an entry point through that basement door. We've got room to run from there. Keep it quiet, move out.
Price turns the knob with his gun up, enters into a garage room, it looks like. There's the boiler, some lockers. Following Price up the stairs, there's a man looking out the window in the living room. Price comes up behind him, covers his mouth, and stabs him in the neck. Soap checks the rest of the house. Kitchen's clear. Going upstairs now.
This floor's clear. Move up to the second.
Enemy reclining on a chair. Soap headshots him. Another one comes out from the other room. There are two rooms with two cots. SAS could see him coming up. Soap shoots through the door.
Roger that. Regroup on me downstairs. Copy that.
Going back downstairs. Stacking up at the door. Price quietly opens the door. It's the front door of the house. On the street now. So stealthily crosses the street to another house on the opposite side. Looks around and sees there's two enemies on the street. Headshots one by a shed. He looks in the windows of the houses on the other side. Can't see anybody in there. He goes and positions himself behind a green car to take out the other enemy in the street. Headshot.
The sun's coming up. We're running out of time.
It is getting brighter out. Price comes to the door. Opens it up. Into a living room with a red couch. Two red couches. No one on the ground floor.
Floor clear. Proceed upstairs.
As he goes up the stairs, there's a portrait of a family. Some pictures on the wall. There's a door closed where we could hear the voices. The squad stacks up on that door.
Looks like this is the place. Get ready to breach.
Door breaching charge set by Price. Close. Gaz leads the way in. Price follows. Griggs is seen.
Cut Griggs loose. Move.
Griggs is seen on a wooden crate. There's
about damn time. I was starting to think you guys were gonna leave me behind.
That was my first thought, but your arse had all the C4. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
He grabs his gun from the table. There was newspapers and blood all over the floor, insinuating he was getting beat. The squad with Griggs now heads back the stairs, back onto the roadway.
We need to knock out that tower so the advanced teams can breach the electrified perimeter.
There's a big electrical tower up behind a chain link fence. It's red and white, and it goes down the mountain range.
Enemy helicopters.
Squad goes prone. I don't even see where the helicopter was.
Charlie 6, what's your status? Over. Team 2 in position at the perimeter. Waiting on you to kill the power. Over.
Roger. So, plant the charges. Go.
At the base of the tower, of the electrical tower, there is a foldable chair. Looks like somebody had a picnic here. It's a very beautiful view. You can see down into another village down there.
Charges set. Everyone get clear.
But we're gonna ruin it. So puts 2 C4 charges on 2 legs of the tower, both on the same side, towards the mountain.
So, do it.
The C4 sets off a fiery explosion as sparks can be seen everywhere coming from the tower as it starts to buckle and lean, and now tip all the way over down the mountain. Big pillar of dust is pushing up.
The tower's down and the power's out. 20 seconds. Roger. We're breaching the perimeter.
You can't see the view anymore as the
Power in 10 seconds.
dust is settling.
5 seconds.
Okay. We're through. Bravo 6 will wait for you at the rally point. Out.
Roger, Team 2. We're on our way. Out.
Get that fence open.
The squad stacks up on the fence. Gaz takes out a can of something and sprays it. He then pulls on the fence a little bit and it breaks, knocking himself over on his butt a little bit. And then the squad heads through. It's getting brighter out as the sun goes up. They're still in woods now. It's very hilly, covered in snow. The helicopter sends all the leaves and dust up as it flies by, passing over a military outpost that they're reaching. Looks like some kind of vehicle depot when you get there. There's a lot of parked cars and looks like garages.
Take Soap and the rest and scout through this base. Booth and I will look for an alternate route.
Gaz, the SAS member, and Soap jump through a hole in the concrete fence. Soap seeing some armaments on the ground. He swaps his USP for the M1014 shotgun. Him and Gaz are sneaking through. The random SAS member's name is Corporal Levine. Gaz sees some enemy in a building, opens fire.
Target neutralized.
Grenade is thrown. Price and his little fire team is seen coming up the left.
Target eliminated.
So moves through some kind of storage room where the helicopter comes from over above. He's loading a shotgun. As he looks through one of those windows that are just a bunch of small little windows put together. The S squad is rappelling down, takes out a grenade launcher, hits it in the middle of them, takes a lot of hits in response, lays down on the ground, reloads his M4, hip fires as an enemy that comes in, another enemy comes from behind, takes him out, reloads, another one comes from behind. As he tried to throw a grenade, Soap kills him. He goes off after he's dead. Takes 2 enemies out by some barrels in the middle of the road. Takes a massive hit from an enemy. He has no idea where it's from. Looks up. It's from a neighboring big industrial building where there's 2 enemies on rooftop.
Target eliminated.
Double tap some enemies in the courtyard. So continues on under some kind of tower. He goes up the outdoor fire escape entrance to the industrial 2nd floor. Switches his shotgun out. The guy's running at him. Takes him out with the shotgun with ease. The squad's downstairs. Soap just jumps down.
Give me some covering fire.
in the base. Seems to be another watchtower. Some enemies are rappelling down again in the middle of the street. Looks like some kind of outdoor vehicle workshop. There's a bunch of docks for some vehicles, all of the desks in there. That's the building on the right. So it pushes up on the left behind a destroyed armored vehicle. Takes cover, reloads. He's playing around, switching his shotgun for an MP5. There's an enemy right on the other side. But a random SAS member comes up named Private Parent and just headshots the enemy, saving him. In one of those vehicle workshops now. Pushing through. Again, there's two more of these buildings with the collection of square windows. They're on the outside. There's parking lots full of armored vehicles. They look like they're out of commission. Enemies are firing from the roof of these two buildings. Soap and the squad are pushing up. Grabs a grenade, throws it back at them. In the left of this like industrial garage, there is sandbags posted, and an enemy is taking cover behind it. The unfortified one on the right, however, has an RPG guy on the front, on the top I should say. Soap takes him out, as two attack dogs are attacking one of the SAS soldiers. Soap helps him out, and he runs for cover. Two more enemies come, he takes one out. Another runner takes him out. The first enemy he just took out was now crawling away. Soap throws a grenade on him instead of double tapping him. Grenade detonates, gets two more. Throws a grenade launcher. Takes a lot of hits, but a grenade gets thrown at him. He throws it back at them. Throws another grenade launcher there. Takes about like 7 guys there. There's a road where two troop transports come. Soap throws 2 C4s on them. Detonates the C4, some on the truck. Somehow the truck doesn't explode. Enemies are hiding behind a bunch of crates. It looks like this was just where a bunch of supplies were just unloaded. Because the C4 didn't get him, Soap was just sending a bunch of explosives that way. The SAS member Soap was fighting next to just takes a blast at the shoulder and goes down. Shooting through some of the wooden crates now. He takes an enemy out. You can see he saw him take cover, shot the crates, and then you see him fall down. On the left, trying to flank with an RPG. After a couple shots, Soap takes him. Soap blows up another one of the other troop transport with a grenade launcher because he's mad the C4 didn't get it somehow. Soap hears one enemy. Can't find him. He's by a toll booth or entry checkpoint. It's a base, I should say. Entry checkpoint, I guess. Squad scene is moving up. They're moving along the road again towards their destination, following a bunch of power lines. Another destroyed vehicle in the woods. They're walking alongside the road in sort of a wooden clearing.
Bravo 6, Sniper Team 2, coming out of the tree line to the south.
Along the tree line on the right.
It's one of the American sniper teams.
2 American soldiers and snipers are wearing ghillie suits.
Good to see you guys made it. We'll give you sniper cover once you're inside the perimeter. What the hell is that?
Big explosion in the back.
Problem here.
It's a missile launch.
There's another one.
The rocket being seen flying up into the sky.
Roger, Bravo 6. Our satellites are tracking them now. Get your team inside the facility and retake the launch control center. We're working on getting the abort codes from the Russians at this time. Out.
The squad is dead sprinting towards the base.
Now, Captain.
Mission fades to black. New briefing screen showing the trajectory of the missiles. Says nuclear launch detected. 2 missiles are heading towards the eastern seaboard of the United States. The simulated warhead trajectory looks as if it's going to completely decimate the entire East Coast, with an estimation of a bunch of death tolls around various cities, with an estimated death toll of 41 million people. Back in Soap's perspective,
We're still working with the Russians to get the launch codes. We should have them shortly. Keep moving. Out.
Soap cocks his M4 and they're all sprinting toward the base. Griggs and Price now have giant circular saws on their back.
Bravo 6, Sniper Team 2 is now in position. We'll give you sniper cover and recount from where we are. Over. Copy! Keep us posted! Out!
The helicopter above is spiraling out of control, blowing up on its way down. They reach the outskirts of the base. There's an opening in the fence. There's some shipping containers where enemies are firing and coming from.
This is Sniper Team 2. You got hostiles on light armor coming from north. Suggest you get some C4 out there or find some heavy weapons. Over.
2 enemies are flanking on the right, but a random SAS goes and cuts them down before getting blown up by a grenade. A BTR is pinning him down. Soap throws a smoke grenade on the BTR, runs up and plants a C4 on the hood.
Target down.
Runs back, detonates it. BTR destroyed.
Bravo 6, this is command. Give me a sit rep. Over. We're inside the perimeter. Approaching the gates to the silos. Out!
Enemies are still seen stumbling through the smoke. Soap mops them up with an MP5. By taking some fire on the left, so leaves that for the SAS members as he pushes up on the right. There is a building with a couple antennas on the right, another one of those vehicle depots, garages. Fires at some enemies by the building with the antennas, and there's also a checkpoint building on the road. Checkpoint building is 2 stories and has enemies on the top. On the left there is some kind of office or housing building where enemies are coming from. So shoots one in the neck. Grenade comes by, Price grabs it and throws it back. On the second floor of this checkpoint building there's some stone cinder blocks that are kind of protecting the shooters on the second floor. So it pushes up.
Got it. We'll try to keep you covered from out here, Bravo 6.
Taking some hits from that second floor. Price comes up and saves Soap. Gives him some suppressor fire. Soap hugs the wall on the right to go around the back. See if there's a back entrance. There isn't. There's just some guns lying about. A G36 and RPD. He comes back to the main road where people are fighting. Reaching the gate now. An SAS member is coming up to detonate the gate. Plants C4 on the gate, runs back. Goes around another building. Gate blows up as they all run through.
So, Greeks, knock them out! Go!
2 more APCs are seen patrolling around in this area as enemies are coming through. It's the nuclear launch pad. There's smoke coming out from exhaust ports. They're all circles that open up for the missiles to come through. There's a bunch of concrete half walls on wheels. So plants C4 on the EMP after throwing a smoke grenade at it. There's one on the other end, the opposite end of the launch field now. He's taking a couple hits from that checkpoint building from before again. He ignores it and runs forward. He swaps his MP5 for RPG, trying to take out the BMP from far away. There's a destroyed gas truck right next to him. Takes cover behind it. Takes a couple hits from the BMP before taking out his RPG, firing it. Direct hit.
That's a hit! One more ought to do it!
So goes back and looks for another RPG. Can't find one. Takes his MP5 back.
We're pinned down until we take out that armor. Use your C4.
Soap runs back to the vehicle, the destroyed gas truck. Throws smoke. Heads to the right by some bunkers. Using those cement half walls to cover his approach. He takes out some foot mobiles. He reaches one of those concrete walls. Throws his C4. Detonates the BMP. Squad team's moving up. They're heading towards the exhaust vents in the back.
Bravo 6, this is Strike Team 3 inserting from the northwest. Repeat, we're moving in from the northwest. Check your targets and confirm. Over.
Copy, Team 3. We'll meet you at the north end of the tarmac near the vent shafts. Out.
More launch pads could be seen opening. Price and Griggs are on an exhaust port now, and they are taking out their circular saws, and they're going to buzz in.
Team, give us a few seconds to cut through the vents. Cutting. Stand by.
Other squads could be seen cutting into other vents. Sparks shoot up every time the blade hits the vent. It falls down. They start to rappel down. Gaz goes first.
Squad, hook up!
Repelling now.
Griggs, Price, and Soap follow.
Okay, we're in.
Another briefing screen as it's again the SAS USMC joint operation. Once again showing the trajectory of the missile. It shows that they've dropped the fuselage.
Team 3 is at the base.
Bravo team, we got good news and bad news. Launch control is located southwest of your position, less than half a click away. That's where you'll need to upload the abort codes to destroy the missiles in flight.
Guys, cover the exit in the security station. Soap, Griggs and I will head for launch control.
Roger. Come on, what's the bad news?
The bad news is we're still trying to get those abort codes. Over.
The hell with it. We'll give it our best shot. Out.
Shows an estimated 14 minutes and 45 seconds till impact, as well as showing the schematics of the base. Soap starts following Griggs through a ventilation shaft.
Alright, let's move. Captain Price, this is 5 Delta 6. We're clearing the east wing and heading for base security. Over.
Roger, Delta 6. We're right above you in the vents. Watch your fire.
Copy that, sir.
Still crawling through the vents. You can see it's very dusty. There's cobwebs.
Two Yankee 6 reporting in. We're meeting with heavy resistance in the south wing. They've locked down our access point over here. Over. Roger, Yankee 6. Regroup with Team 2 and help them gain control of base security. Over. Roger that, sir. We're pulling back to regroup with Team 2. Yankee 6 out.
Squads jumps down into a locker room.
Captain Price, we're sending your team the abort codes you'll need to auto-destruct the missiles in flight. You have 11 minutes before those missiles reach the eastern seaboard. Over.
Copy that.
Past the showers and locker room now. They're in a series of hallways, each with a red flashing light. They're in a food storage room. Goes back to the hallway. Continuing down, enemies can be seen approaching. Mows them down. Griggs and Price are pushing up through into a cafeteria kitchen area. In a food storage room. Bunch of shelves, propane tanks, and refrigerators in the kitchen. Now they're in like a cafeteria area. They're behind the food service counter. The enemies are all running around in the open pretty much because there's only a few kicked over tables. Doesn't provide much cover.
We got 10 minutes left.
Yep, there is a countdown on the top. Out of the cafeteria, they're heading down another hallway. Soap switches to his MD5 for the closer encounters. There's one guy hiding behind the corner as Soap, Price, and Griggs all just lay bullets down. He's cutting the corner before Soap creeps up and takes him out with the MD5. Every one of these hallways has a giant red flashing light indicating the launch. In some kind of office now. 2 computers, very old, dated computers. You can see some bulletin boards. There's a giant star. Soap heads down. There's a bunch of dead soldiers, presumably the Russians that were manning it before the Ultranationalists took over. Soap gets flashed, but not bad enough to lose his target. It's a big storage room now. A bunch of crates. Just crates and barrels all stacked up on each other. Soap hugs the right wall and continues to push up. Runs out of ammo, and enemy pops up. Takes cover for hip firing the enemy away. Enemies keep running at him.
We're running out of time. We gotta move.
Reaches the end of the room on the right side. Takes grenade, throws it from one enemy to another. The enemy that threw grenade is getting taken out by Price with his pistol. As you turn the corner, Price and Soap move up as Price just obliterates an enemy on the ground with a full clip of ammo, looks like.
Sir, what's going on? What are they saying? They started a bloody countdown. Sakaya's got to launch the remaining missiles. Keep moving.
Enemy pops up with a shotgun, just misses Soap head as he dips back. Soap runs out. MP5, just spray and pray down these hallways because it's so close quarters. It doesn't matter, you get them all. They're in the launch bay almost, fighting around missiles as Soap uses a grenade launcher to hit the other enemies in the adjacent missile bay, which is probably not a good idea. But it works out. Throwing grenade launchers at the bottom of nukes probably isn't safe, but desperate times.
Go, go, go.
Soap continues to push up. Sees Griggs and Price. More missiles are launching. Soap turns around to see Price is closing a launch door just in time as the missile exhaust is coming up. They're in front of a large glass door. The big red light over it.
Open the outer door to launch control.
Roger, we're on it. Stand by. Almost there.
As Gaz opens the door, it is incredibly slow.
Door's coming online now.
It's opening but barely moving.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me.
Guys, can't you make it open faster?
6 minutes left. Negative, sir. But you can try pulling it if it makes you feel better. Cheeky bastard.
As soon as an opening clears in the doorway, Soap peeks his head in with the MP5. Searching the room. Enemies are in a little office and in the room proper. There's 2 offices to the side of this room. Shoots him to the one on the right, throws a grenade. Flashbang. Runs in. Knifes an enemy when he runs out of ammo. Reloads. Sprays and prays. Hits Griggs a little bit because for the millionth time I hit a teammate in this game. In some kind of generator room. chase into the office.
5 minutes.
5 minutes left on the counter on top. They're pushing down towards an empty hallway, a dead end, which is their destination.
Team 3, what's your status? Over. Team 3 in position at the southeast side of the launch control room, standing by. Are you at the far wall? Over.
Affirmative. Preparing to breach. Soap, plant the explosives. Go.
So plants some C4, backs up with Griggs and Price, detonates it.
Go, go, go! Moving in.
They charge in. Before going in, Soap throws a flashbang. They enter. Allies can be seen entering from the right side as Price and Soap and Griggs enter through the left. It's a giant control room. Looks with all 1960s computers. There's like huge computers all over the place.
We'll watch for enemy reinforcements.
4 minutes.
Soap swaps his MP5 for AK-47. He goes up to the computer and starts typing in the abort codes. There's a giant screen on a giant launch screen.
Stand by. Stand by. Bravo 6, all warheads have been confirmed destroyed in flight. We got a ton of debris, but most of it's landing in the ocean.
Sir, check the security feed. It's the can. He's taking off.
Captain Price, this is Gaz at the security station. They came in by trucks. I'm thinking we can use all of these to get the hell out of here. I'm sending you the coordinates to the vehicle depot. Roger that. We'll meet you at the vehicle depot. Out. Everyone follow me. Let's go.
All teams, this is command. Recommend you exfil from the area immediately. Large numbers of hostile forces are converging on your position. Get out of there now.
Soap runs up the way they've came, through the hole in the wall that they created.
Enemy reinforcements moving in.
Back past the slow blast door. The launch control. They're now back in the hallways. Very close quarters. There's full market guys. Soap fires as he takes cover on the other side of the room. Griggs and Price are catching up. Everything is kind of a funnel at this point, so the enemies are easy to pick off. There's not much cover around. They reach a lift. Soap takes a Price to see Captain Price just chilling there for a second. Price hits the button to lift on the way in. We're going up.
This is Gaz. We're taking some fire up here at the vehicle depot. Where the hell are you guys?
We're coming up the lift. Stand by.
You know, sir, I wouldn't mind getting a shot at Takeo.
Yeah, well, get in line, mate. You can find us first.
Door opens as they head out. Signs of battle as there's dead soldiers on the ground again. At the vehicle depot, see Gaz and the Marines fighting some enemies coming in through the entrance. So pops on the back of one of the trucks and helps clear them out.
All right, get in the trucks. Let's go.
You heard the man. Move.
Alright, mission fades to black as there's satellite imaging tracking the squad's exfiltration on a jeep.
Primary exfil point has been compromised. Proceed to secondary extraction south of bridge. Enemy presence substantial.
It's just too hot, man. But room temperature? Please, a beer should be ice cold.
A lager, maybe. Or a glass of water like you drink. And a pint of stout.
I'm gonna have to school y'all both when we get back stateside.
Yeah, well, either way, we're stopping in London first. And I'm buying.
Well, at least the world didn't end. Hit it.
So, Griggs and Price are in one car. There's two other cars of Allied soldiers. Enemy's troop transports come now.
Bravo 6, what's the status on that helicopter? Over. Not good enough, mate. We'll be dead in 10. Truck moving up on the left. Get off your bloody ass and fire that truck!
Now there's helicopters on the side tracking. These trucks that they have coming up are reinforced with looks like sheet metal and some barrels that enemies can take cover from. Each troop transport has about 6 guys in the back. They're in a tunnel now. Truck on the left is, sorry, on the right is spiraling out of control before exploding. Truck on the left barrels through it though. They pass a civilian bus. A lot of civilians on the road still. Just getting railed out of the way. Soap shoots one of the RPG guys and it hits a civilian car, the rocket, going wild. There's a helicopter just raining missiles onto the road, chasing the other allies down on another road. Troop transport hits a little rock as it spirals out, causing an explosion as some rocks are falling from the mountain. Another civilian vehicle crashes. Another civilian vehicle crashes. They're under a mountain overpass now. It's just firing, and the helicopter's just firing rockets indiscriminately into the street. Soap's trying to hit the rocket on the helo, but he also sucks at video games, so he misses. Allies are ahead. The ones from behind caught up. Soap's getting low on all of his ammo. Reaching a bridge. Just try to stop the car, but it's going too fast. Soap blacks out for a second, wakes up, and is on a destroyed bridge.
The bridge isn't gonna hold. Move, move, move!
There's blood on the pavement that he woke up from. The bridge is slowly falling apart as vehicles are starting to slip and fall off. It's starting to crack even more so.
It's about to collapse. Get your ass out of there!
Soap's climbing up right behind Bryce. There's some destroyed cars up ahead. The Allies take cover. Men are rappelling down the helicopters as two transports are at the other side of the bridge.
Captain Price! We're on our own, sir! It's bloody good to hear from you, mate!
Enemies continue to pile up.
Tanker's about to blow! Move!
Behind there's a tanker that's on fire. Everybody's running forward. Helicopter shoots a missile at the exploding tanker. So blacks out for a second, wakes up to see Griggs. He's pulling him with one hand and shooting his M1911 with the other. Trying to pull him to cover on the other side, even though they were already in cover. As he's firing, he runs out of ammo. Switches back to his saw. Starts shooting down. Everything's in slow motion. The bullet rips through his shoulder as he falls to the ground. Soap looks to his left and sees Captain Price is barely moving, struggling to get up. Looks back to the bridge as he sees ultranationalists led by Zakhaev are walking very slowly. Gaz is seen struggling to get up as Zakayev puts a gun to Gaz's head and pulls a trigger. Ultranationalists are seen executing other SAS members along the bridge. A missile comes and destroys the helicopter that was watching overhead. The Allied Russian forces are coming in. Soap looks back to Captain Price, who's sliding him his M1911. Soap catches it, aims in slow motion, shoots Zakayev in the back of the head, and the other two soldiers as well. He looks back up and sees an Allied Russian helicopter. Soap's vision is beginning to get a little fuzzy. The helicopter's starting to land. Another helicopter is seen above. Soldiers are rappelling down. It's Kamarov. He comes to aid Soap.
You are going to be alright, my friend.
Some Russian soldiers begin to lift up Soap and put him on a gurney. The soldier is giving CPR to Price.
The Russian government released a statement today confirming a series of nuclear missile tests in central Russia. Although world leaders were quick to denounce the action, Russian officials maintain that the missile tests fell well within established UN protocols. No comment was received from the ultra-nationalist party, where rumors of a possible leadership struggle have just begun to surface. In other news, the search for a ship lost in the Bering Strait due to a major storm has been called off.
Game fades to black as the helicopter medevacs Soap out. Hey everyone, I'm Soundwave Spectre, and if you made it this far, I just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching. If the content was rough around the edges, I apologize. This was my first time making any content on YouTube whatsoever, let alone audio descriptions. I'm going to be doing more audio descriptions of all kinds of games, so if you liked it, give me a like so YouTube can share this out to other people who might need audio descriptions. Leave a comment below on what I could do to make it better for you guys and what you want to see next. Be sure to subscribe so you see the next one gets posted. Thank you, and I'll catch you on the next one.